Welcome back to the final Season 3 episode of
Family Meeting.
My name is Matt Glass.
And I'm AJ Tenari.
And this is Family Meeting, the show where we typically like to record after we eat a bunch of food, but this time around we were smart and we're going to eat afterwards.
Exactly. Poll of the week, what are we getting?
Because I don't think we've decided yet even.
That we haven't. So, audience, you get to decide what we eat tonight.
The day after we record
Exactly.
this. Because it's coming out tomorrow. So,
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
As we always do.
But this is Family Meeting, the show where we're pretty lax when it comes to our music discussion topics. And we have a tradition here at the Family Album Podcast where at the end of each season, we rank all the albums that we've reviewed.
Exactly. It's a nice kind of fun culmination of everything we've talked about throughout the season. This is just regular and guest episodes, no Tom Hates albums. That was in its own finale last week that you listened to, at least for Tom.
I don't think we've done our rankings of the overall stuff either. We could probably do that for Instagram.
There we go. Stay tuned.
By the way, the Instagram is at Family Album Pod.
Yeah, for all those not following, we post some stuff there sometimes, and it's pretty cool.
So go check it out if you haven't already.
Yeah, and go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like and comment too. Get those algorithm numbers up, bro.
Get those
Brother.
up, baby. At Family Album Pod
Yes.
on Instagram and maybe soon other things.
Yes, be on the lookout. We got a lot of planning to do before season 4.
But AJ,
Yeah.
let's just hop right into this ranking.
Let's get right into the news, dude.
I feel that the audience needs to know that I said that AJ and Philip DeFranco have a Venn diagram, and I can't quite explain why.
I guess that's question of the week. What the fuck does Matt mean?
This could go right next to Tom saying, "Meatloaf, get in my ass."
There we go.
Like at the beginning of last week's episode. Oh, man.
The many quandaries of the family album.
But AJ, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Should we flip a coin or roll a die?
Oh, my God.
Album Tonight style?
We didn't. Yeah, that's true. We didn't roll the die Album Tonight style for their episode.
We did not.
Which-
I'll pull it up.
2 weeks ago, we did a really phenomenal guest episode with Ben Masholi and Evan Vandenbrol, where they brought on Suicide Silence by Suicide Silence and Dark Side of the Moon Redux by Roger Waters.
Yes, 2 really fucking awful albums.
Oh my God.
But a lot of great commentary.
You're going to hear about them quite soon, let me tell you.
Yep. Evens or odds, Matt?
I'll take odds.
Odds, all right. That is a 1, so Matt is going first.
The one time rolling a nat 1 is actually a good thing.
Exactly.
So this list got workshopped quite a lot, but I actually did it for once as we were going along instead of every single one the night before,
Yeah.
like I've done the last season.
Uh-huh.
This season very much taught me to be a lot more prepared.
I see.
Because there were a lot of things this season where I was like, yeah, I could freeball that. And then I was like, nah, no, I can't.
That's a fair point.
Oh, man. It's going to be amazing when The Rise and Fall of Midwest Princess is at the top of my list, though.
Hey, dude, the best album of 2025.
It's my favorite album of 2024, honestly. My list has some twists and turns, and we'll just jump right in from
All
the
right.
bottom. Without surprise, at number 36, we have Nostalgia Critics The Wall.
Let's go.
Because
a classic.
holy fuck, this album is terrible.
Yeah.
I'm going to try my best not to... I know I say this every time I say, I'll be quick about it. I never am. But I'll really be quick about this. This album is ass.
Yeah.
Like, as I said in the last Tom Hates albums, this album and the Nostalgia Critic deserves an honorary ass. And whether you look at it sonically or just the history around it and his attitudes around him viewing the movie and like the album and rehashing it, it's just like it gives you nothing.
Yeah.
Actually, it gives you pain. It gives you pain after the experience.
If anything, it takes away.
Exactly.
More than it gives.
It's absolutely useless. Like all of its parodies of an amazing album are like so like half-baked and like absolutely not thought out whatsoever.
Yeah.
All to prove a point that is just so not clear in my opinion.
Or correct.
No.
Yeah.
Like there's just no redeeming song on here. It's in my F tier
Hell yeah,
for
man.
a reason. I didn't actually put like which tier they're all in. Usually I do that, but I'll do that as I go along. I'll guesstimate it. Right above that, sticking to the Pink Floyd theme, we have the Dark Side Redux at number 35. This one is only up by 1 because the production is actually okay, but
I
like
see.
Of course, the album does not hold a candle to the original, and because of that and the pettiness of Roger Waters, I had to just put that second from the bottom. Because why in God's name would I put it higher than that?
No, an egotistical passion project that really has no
business existing.
Exactly.
Like, it's catty, it's petty,
it's boring.
It's boring. He remade it for the sake of spite. An entirely watered down version of one of the best albums of all time commercially. And yeah, no, it sucks.
Yes, it does.
I had only heard Money before we decided to do a deep dive
Roger
into
Waters' Money.
Roger Waters.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Uh-huh.
I had only heard Roger Waters' Money
Yes.
before that episode, and I can't say that I enjoyed the rest. I barely enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I didn't.
So there we go. That is my number 35. At number 34, we have Pray for the Wicked by Panic at the Disco.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's very loud, it's overproduced, it's fucking obnoxious. The album that I think deserves a lot more hate than Viva Las Vengeance, in my opinion. It has one or two redeeming qualities, like the songs The Overpass, and I think Hey Look Ma, I Made It is fine.
Okay.
However, the 81% of music that is like there other than that just sucks.
Yeah.
It is a glorified suck sesh of his career in the height of his career literally dying, number one. And also like just
selling out
and making us feel bad for him that he's selling
exactly.
out. Like, even though it's his fault for not getting along with the band, like, oh,
it's
God.
a very confused album.
It really is, and it's in like as all the bad shit was pretty much happening.
Exactly.
If I'm being honest. So I hate this album a lot. I cannot believe Teenage Matt thought this was like the coolest fucking thing in the world. 34th place. Yeah, I could not put it higher than that.
Is this still F tier?
Yeah, I'm willing to fucking put it in F tier, honestly. At number 33, we have Suicide Silence, self-titled.
Good shit.
The only reason why it's above Panic at the Disco is because I feel like they had the heart with it.
They tried.
They tried.
Yeah.
Where Brendan Urie's album was like really just him being full of himself. I
Yeah.
feel like they genuinely tried.
Yes.
And the tragedy of their old singer, I was like, okay, I can give them a little bit of a pass. Fourth from the bottom, but I can give them a little bit.
It's at least better than Pray for the Wicked.
It has the heart.
Not a high bar, but still.
But this album is very tonally confused. There are many points where the instrumental is just absolutely muddied by bad production. Like I said, put it before the previous album because it's a lot less self-indulgent. Even though they're trying to be like, oh, this is the shit, I feel like they're just trying to like
hype themselves up.
Yeah, because holy moly.
They need it.
It's just a collective dissonance of minds that results in an unenjoyable listening experience. They just don't know what they want here. And Doris is enough of a terrible track, I think, to just deem the whole album like F. Like,
yeah, Doris Deem. You get what you pay for with Doris.
Yeah, it's, you know exactly what you're gonna get into with Doris. Those clean vocals, I make fun of them at my job all of the time.
They're so funny.
To give, to let you lead the way. Oh God. It was my morning alarm for a little bit.
That's awesome.
Because I was like, I need to laugh as I wake up in the morning. And it worked, honestly.
That's good. Yeah, wake up in good spirits.
I have set it back to Potluck by Ween.
Well, that's also pleasant.
I love that song.
Me too. It's a really good one.
It's just simple.
It's very, very pleasant.
It is.
I really hope if they ever, in a million years, make Shinola Volume 2, that makes the cut.
At number 32, we have F1 Trillion by Post Malone.
Word.
Oh,
Good
man. My enjoyment of this album was little to none.
Yep.
The production is like fine, but the songwriting is bland. Features that do absolutely nothing with the exception of Dolly Parton, even though that song I don't particularly care for.
Has become a stim on this podcast.
You want to say something sexy? Has a few good song melodies. I like Losers. I like California Sober. And I think Mexico is funny as fuck, if I'm being honest. I feel like after that album, that's the only way you end the album.
Yep.
So
Before, of course, yours.
I always forget that that's the actual closer.
Yeah.
This is the real closer in my heart.
Honestly, for good reason.
I would fuck with this so much more if that was the closer. The only reason why this album is above the previous ones is because the production is just like, I think eons better than the other ones.
Yeah.
or they don't make me want to like blow my brains out in
that's a
some
good
way
point.
by them being overproduced and over exaggerated.
Or underproduced.
Yeah, so that's the only reason why it's 5 from the bottom.
Yeah.
It should be closer to the bottom, but unfortunately, like Nostalgia Critics The Wall, The Dark Side Redux, Pray for the Wicked, Suicide Silence, you can't get lower than those.
Pretty bad.
They're pretty fucking bad, man. Now, this one, I feel like I might have been a little generous with,
Okay.
even though I hated this album,
Uh-huh.
and that is Metal Machine Music
Gotcha.
by Lou Reed.
Yes.
I had to include it in my bottom 10
makes
because I
sense.
didn't enjoy it.
That makes sense.
But the only reason why it's in 6 is because I was kind of moved by the origin story after I reflected on the episode a little bit.
Yeah.
And while I do think the majority, if not all, of the album is very hard to listen
Yes.
to, you are right. I tried to re-listen to it a little bit
Uh-huh.
because I didn't want to do. Because keep in mind, I did not do it in sections. I did the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that was a mistake. You can tell there is like intentionality
Yes.
behind it, and like, because I mean, how else was he able to achieve all those sounds?
Exactly, yeah.
Even though I'm not too fond of how it sounds overall,
It's admirable.
yeah, and I understand why he did it. He
Yeah.
was miserable at the time, and this was an outlet of expression, and I guess he did it really well because he was able to sort of like portray that discomfort that he was feeling in life and from
Yeah.
his record label and just being unhappy as an artist. So, that being said, I don't plan on
Yeah.
returning to this album at all.
It's a valid point.
It was genuinely a painful experience to listen to it, but I guess that was the point.
Yep.
So that's why it's 6 from the bottom.
Hey, I'm glad that you at least have some newfound respect for it.
Yeah, I respect it for what it is, but I definitely like
We'll never listen to it again.
if I can help it.
Yeah.
At number 30, we have Songs of Innocence by U2.
Nice, dude.
This is another example of the history of the album taking over a little bit more than the actual album.
Yeah.
Because the actual album is just painfully average at best.
So it's the inverse of Metal Machine music.
Pretty much, yeah. Has a lot of questionable moments that just prevent it from getting higher.
For real.
It's got decent songs, like Every Breaking Wave is fine. I think Cedarwood Road is the best song on the album.
Yeah.
Song for Someone is okay. But then there's like California, There's No End to Love, and Sleep Like a Baby, which is just a shitty song.
Raised by Wolves?
We were raised by wolves. One more time
Times
now.
3.
3 times is crazy.
I think one of my favorite corrections I've ever had to make for the podcast was I claimed that the chorus is just the phrase raised by wolves 3 times, and in the description I was like, the phrase raised by wolves is not repeated 3 times, it's repeated 4.
Raised by wolves. Oh, that song is ass.
Check out that episode. That's a fun fucking episode.
That was a catharsis that I needed from like generations of trauma just spilling out. Oh man. But even though I did not experience the pain of having this permanently on my music listening device for years and years, I still definitely do not appreciate this album very much.
Yeah.
So I had to put it in my bottom 10.
What tier are we at like right now?
Maybe F1 Trillion is the lowest D.
Okay.
I think Suicide
sense.
Silence and then further to the bottom is just
top of F down, yeah.
But I feel like F1 Trillion, putting it in F tier, despite it being the name of the album, I felt like that might be a little harsh. I also felt like Metal Machine Music, I'm like, in comparison to the other 4. We'll see, like, as the seasons go on, like, where we're at, because things could definitely shift.
That's a good point. A lot more albums to look forward to in the future.
A lot more albums in the world.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah.
Shout out to the world.
Shout out to you guys, everyone in the world. Rise up. So,
number 29, and my bottom number 8, I guess, if we want to do something with that. I don't fucking know what that means.
We can't do sound effects. No bottom 8 alarm.
What does that even mean?
We'll never know.
The worst part about it is if that was on Tom Waits' album,
you would have to do it.
I would try so fucking hard to interpret that in some way. It's like in 4/8 or like some odd meter like 8/5, if that even is possible. Number 29 is Lines, Vines, and Trying Times by the Jonas Brothers. This album is really not good, but I also feel like, given the ages that they were and the sort of conditions they were writing this album in, I felt like I could give it a little bit of a pass. especially since it's a lot more creative and has a little bit more variety than the other albums that we said. It needed to be higher, but also I definitely did not want to put it too high.
It doesn't deserve it.
Despite World War III being the best song I've ever fucking listened to in my life.
It's fantastic.
Don't Charge You for the Crime.
Really did a lot for the hip hop community.
It's iconic in a weird way. The songs are, however, very questionable with the intent and motive. Poison Ivy.
Oh yeah.
Fucking World War III. Don't Charge You for the Crime. Much better.
Speak. Much better.
The city pop one.
Yes.
Like there's some interesting musical ideas, but of course the production does not hold up. Like there's some pretty bad production choices.
Yeah.
Another thing, the lyrics are not very good, and of course, the vocals are really annoying after a while. Paranoid is the best song on there. It's the most put together, the most like straightforward, like, okay, they could maybe be adults here.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's why it is at number 29 for me. At number 28, this is when we start to lean more back than ass.
Okay. Cool.
And that is Mad Love by Jeremy Shada.
Yeah, that's fair.
This sort of starts to lean into the mid category. I literally wrote that in my notes. That's crazy.
Nice.
I forgot that I wrote that. I really just found it more inoffensive than anything. Like this is definitely like C tier now. Like I would say like from F1 Trillion to like Lines Vines, it's like just D.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of C.
I can see that. A lot of fluctuation of quality this season.
Man, that top 10 though, holy
yeah, dude.
fuck, dude, I'm excited. Mad Love though, I really just, again, like,
it was a first attempt at like music.
I liked it less than his other projects.
Agreed.
I remember in the episode I said it was just an EP. Not that EPs can't be like impactful, but like, you know.
In comparison. Yeah.
Lyrically, it's just not the best.
No.
He's very clunky and tries to fit like a lot of syllables in all of his lines. I don't really have any songs on here that I particularly gravitate towards anyway, musically.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, I don't know, it's more decent than like any of the albums prior. I can just move on to my number 27, which is at the top of my bottom 10.
Okay.
And that is At World's End, original soundtrack by Hans Zimmer.
I guess that's fair.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all. However, it would be disrespectful to honestly put it lower than this, but like as an album listen, it's not something I really want to return to like regularly.
It's hard to rank a soundtrack and like in comparison to the rest of the albums we've talked about.
Yeah. Unless like all the music, while the music is stellar, it's also kind of long as an album. Without the visual aids, it's a little difficult to really like, I guess, fully appreciate. Well, I mean, I guess you can still fully appreciate it. It's just like
there's something missing.
It just makes you kind of want to watch the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
And it's a great movie and it's a great soundtrack. It's fucking awesome, all the little details he has between like really interesting like shaker percussion in some parts and like fucking guitar solos.
Jaw harp.
Yeah. Like it definitely shows how much work went into it and also just the movie in general. But I also felt like it would be kind of weird to put it before any other album on this list. You know what I mean?
Like this isn't going above To Pimp a Butterfly.
I certainly would not say so. But that is the end of my bottom 10. No hate to this album, genuinely. It's just as an album, not like what I want to go to.
Yeah.
But it was definitely eons better than like everything.
The rest. Yeah.
That's why I wanted to say it was like C tier, I guess. I know in the episode I think I put it pretty high, but like just in the grand scheme of things,
upon reflection,
that was like beginning of the season.
That was our first guest episode.
So with Emma, so like genuinely, I just was like, we didn't know what was ahead yet.
Exactly.
We didn't know it was going to be the bad album season until like the beginning of January.
Exactly. Like 2025, we're like, oh shit, we're in this now, aren't we?
Yeah, like I said in that one episode, once F1 Trillion happened, I was like,
it was all downhill.
We just cannot.
We were literally in that truck going to the lake.
That's what it felt
like.
Oh man, but we kind of start to get into some songs that are, I guess, going a little bit more upward.
Yeah, on the back scale.
At number 26, we have Some Rap Songs by Earl Sweatshirt.
Yeah, that's fair.
Honestly, this album is just not for me, but I can, again, appreciate hard work when it's done well. I get why people think this album some people might think this album is like one of the best albums of all time.
Yeah.
The samples are really unique, and it's not an album that thematically or lyrically like sugarcoats anything.
No.
Sorry, I had to swallow my spit real quick.
Dude, sex icon Matt Glass is back, baby.
Again. Food coma won't strike me down. Like themes of like taking pills and self-medicating, trying to get over and cope with depression and grief. Like those are real themes. And I think he does a good job of sort of painting that in not a very cushy sounding album whatsoever. I've just like heard other projects by Earl Sweatshirt and other like features from him. And I just like Voir Dire, for example, like that. I genuinely enjoy him as an MC more and as a lyricist. But this one, I don't know. Of all the projects that I've heard him on, it's just not my cup of tea. But no hate to anybody who likes this album. It's just going to stay in my mid-range, probably.
Gotcha.
At number 25, someone might get offended by this, is Neon Dreams by Jeremy Shada.
I think that's also really fair.
I don't know. I mean, like, I didn't want to put this too high, but it just felt like a more cohesive project than, like, his other
it's
one.
an improvement.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, like, enjoyment-wise, I enjoyed it more than some rap songs because it's a lot more palatable of a listen.
Yeah, it's way less dark.
Oh my god,
there's not a dark bone on that album.
The darkest it gets is City of Angels,
yeah,
which is like, which also kind of grew on me a little bit.
Okay.
Like, I've only listened to it one other time since an episode.
Valid.
But like, I was like, oh, okay, this is an okay song. I didn't listen to like full albums. I just listened to like songs
tracks,
that I remembered. Some ones that like I didn't.
Some rap songs is even.
Oh man, that I will say, I'll give some rap songs credit. That ending is fucking crazy.
It is, yeah.
With that gospel sample after like hearing Lick the Nutsack and all that shit. It's wild. Because I heard that sample before listening to the actual album.
Yeah.
So that was just like,
yeah, what a curveball.
What am I doing? Man? What are you doing, Earl? Such a
Voir Dire.
What a fucking name, Earl. You know, not the sweatshirt part, just Earl. That's his name.
What's the guy who plays Dave in Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Oh, Jason Lee.
Jason Lee's My Name Is Earl.
You know
how love sitcom.
You know how much Hulu has been trying to recommend me that sitcom? There is gonna be a day where I start watching it, and unfortunately, I'm gonna like it. Last thing I'll say. City of Angels grew on me as a closer. I think it is the closer.
I think so.
I remember it being the closer.
It's
if it's not
towards
the closer,
the end.
If it's not the closer, it's at the bottom half of my fucking ranking anyway. Like, relax, okay?
We have not left back yet.
Maria, chill. No, I'm just kidding. Please come back. At number 24, however, we have Cannibal by Kesha.
Yeah, that's valid.
It's textbook pop.
A little higher than I expected, but you know,
hey, listen, I felt like putting Jeremy Shada or some rap songs before this would be kind of
unfaithful to you.
Unfaithful to me, and because like there are some moments I genuinely enjoy on here. Like, if you were to craft an encyclopedia of pop albums, this definitely has to be in there in some capacity.
Okay.
Like, because I mean, Kesha was a pretty notable name in pop.
Yeah.
I feel like you would have, if she had like a page, you could put this there. It has Blow. It has We Are Who We Are.
That's true.
Like, I feel like that's definitely.
I mean, I would her like first EP go there because that was TikTok and some other ones, right?
Yeah. I mean, it could have other albums on there too.
That's a good point.
In this theoretical book,
yes, that's a good point.
This is not the be all end all, but like I think
this are 1,001 albums to listen to.
Yeah, we're
1,002.
That's the goal with this podcast. We're gonna listen to 1,001 albums, and these are the albums you have to listen to before you die. That's so funny.
Yep, guys, you have to listen to Soundtrack Against the Wall. We don't make the rules.
Tom has to listen to all of it. Oh man, he would hate this album, honestly.
Yeah. We hate a lot of albums.
But I think, honestly, in the encyclopedia of pop, this album has to be there in some capacity. At least, like, Blow, We Are Who We Are.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, maybe Grow a Pair. I appreciate some tracks on here, but that song did not age well whatsoever.
No, it's bad.
But, like, honestly, like the two other hit ones I said before, also Harold's song,
it's pretty good.
I was going to say, like, I think you were kind of right about it.
Yeah,
I re-listened to it, and I feel like my opinion of it kind of lightened a little bit.
Look at that.
But I also don't really plan on revisiting again in full. Definitely, like, one or two songs. Like, I'd listen to Blow again.
Yeah.
Like, definitely.
It's a classic.
Yeah, Victorious.
Of course, dude.
Danielle Monet.
Ice Scream for Kesha, the best episode of that show.
That's the only episode of Victorious that matters.
Exactly, the one where Danielle Monáe almost kisses a minor.
Thanks, Dan. Oh, God. I can see it popping up again, like 1 or 2 tracks if I queue it up, maybe. But that's my number 24. My number 23 is A History of Public Relations Dilemma by The Blasting Company. I am always going to try to keep this album as high as I can because I do have a love for it, especially its good parts.
Princess Andy.
So good. Even Sinking Ships, even though the production sucks on that song. It's like kind of cool to see like collective minds try to come together and revitalize a style and a genre of music that like isn't around at all anywhere else.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which, I don't know, like it's, especially at the time, it was nowhere to be seen. So it was a pretty decent start, I think. A lot of the lyrics, though, definitely bogged down this album.
Yeah, and concepts. The
internet-esque humor mixed with the George Clooney suck sesh. I keep using suck sesh in my notes.
Is that the new Punchy? Is that the Punchy of the season?
Yeah, suck sesh. Yeah, I'm a professional music critic. Guys.
Exactly. My vocabulary is unmatched.
Oh, man. I do, however, like to see the backbone of this band, considering what they would go on to do, because it is kind of cool. And it's cool to see the blueprints of that. Yeah. Especially them soundtracking a very beloved, like
indie cartoon.
Yeah, so I can appreciate it for what it is, and I definitely didn't want to put it too low.
And you get to see them before they drop the Petrojevic part of the Blasting Company.
Yes. I probably should have mentioned this is when it was Petrojevic. Yeah. I don't even know if that's how you say it. That's, to me, that's just how I've been pronouncing it.
I lead by example.
Oh, thank you. I am not the person to do that with. Right above that at number 22, though, is Beer Bongs and Bentleys by Post Malone.
Gotcha.
Like it or not, this album has a bit of nostalgia for me.
Yeah, you were saying that in the episode.
One of the only reasons why it's not, like, higher is because Post Malone as a lyricist is not... He's just not good.
Brother, oh, fucking...
So fucking bad.
Spoil my night. That's all you needed to prove your point, dude.
My favorite moment of that episode is when you're like, Sway Lee's lyrics suck ass.
Is that what I sound like in that episode?
Just at that one part, because Andrew was like, "Why do you not like it, bro?" It was so funny. Oh man, but Sway Lee's lyrics do fucking suck ass.
I've never been like a small fry, dude. What did he mean by that?
I don't know. Question of the week. What did he mean by that?
Yes.
What did Tom mean by meatloaf getting my ass?
What are we eating tonight?
And why is AJ linked with Philip DeFranco?
These are the questions we ask here at the Family Album, and we need your help to answer them.
As a music podcast,
yes,
these are the questions that we need to know. I deem this album more on like the inoffensive side of things rather than just plain out bad. He's goofy as fuck, but at the same time, like, Better Now.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Better Now.
And Better Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably like the three I'd recommend.
I don't know why it's the only one I can think of right now, but that song is genuinely like a good like pop song. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like for the time. I also feel like production-wise, compared to the other ones, it's better than a lot of the previous batch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll take it. I can just leave it right there. Well, AJ.
Yeah, I was waiting for this one.
21 is Komodo My House by Sparks.
Honestly, higher than I expected. Like just outside the top 20, I'll take that.
It's more of a preference thing.
Yeah.
I definitely think they're like a good band. I just don't really care for this album much. They just released an album.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't listen to it. I will, though.
I also have not, but I will as well. And then I like that band.
And then in season 4, we'll see where it goes.
Exactly. When this ends up as Matt's worst album of 2025.
Maybe it'll get an honorable mention. I do have a bottom 20 of 2025.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's because I actually have enough to do a bottom. Did I say 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do technically have a bottom 20 if you look at it that way.
We'll see in season 4.
Talented band, and the songwriting they do is like creative, but this album is just not really for me.
Yeah.
I find a lot of the hooks a little annoying, but the instrumentation is pretty impressive. I also like the topics that they try to tackle, like, oh fuck, what's the one song? It's not Equator. I hate it.
Yeah, Equator's not a good song. I'll give you that one.
It's part of the reason why it's not a lot higher on my list because that song actually like gave me a headache. But I can't think of the song that I'm thinking of right now. I have the melody in my head, but
Is it Here in Heaven?
Maybe. I don't know. The thing is, normally when I do this, I like to start singing the song into the microphone.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That's not what the vibe is right now.
No, because we can't do edits to have the music back you up.
We can't do edits. And I can't make... I don't feel like doing...
Our hands are tied, dude. We can't.
I'm not going to be like Rob Scallon and then just like make like a watered down version of a soundtrack of like a good album.
Nostalgic Critics Kimono My House.
Man, that would probably be lower than The Wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like I definitely didn't want to put it too low on my list, but it's just not for me.
That's valid.
At number 20, we have News at 11 by Cat System Corp.
I see.
This project is well thought out, I would say. This project is thought out. What does that even mean?
Honestly, some projects not thought out at all.
Yeah, take my bottom 10 for example.
I guess while we're stopped, what tiers are we at like right now?
We're still in C.
It's still in C. Cool.
We're definitely still in C, I think. This is more like mid to higher C, I guess. This project is definitely well thought out, as I was trying to say. But I really believe this is, again, more of a bias in comparison to the other album I brought. Concept aside, I just, like... I know I didn't get the concept before because I just was not paying attention to anything that Voice was saying because it just fucking creeped me out so much.
Yeah.
I did try to listen to it again, and I gotta be honest with you, I just didn't really like it. Like, even with the concept in mind, I just didn't really have like the wow factor that I think like really was supposed to be there. And that's just probably more of a me thing, if I'm being honest. I know like variety isn't like exactly the biggest priority when it comes to a genre like vaporwave, but it just wasn't really.
Yeah, the back half of that album sounds very, very, very similar.
And it's that like 12 song suite.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh.
Weather Channel 1 through 11.
Yeah. Oh, it was actually close to 12.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. God, how did you get the 9/11 references on this album? It literally was written everywhere. Like, jeez. This is the type of shit I mean, family heads. Like, there were some highs, but there were some crazy lows on my end this season, which is why I'm hoping I can, from this point, be a bit more prepared.
Hey, we're always learning here at the Family Album.
Absolutely. One thing I was gonna say, like, the reasoning behind the album is interesting. And I think it's really cool that Corp was moved so much by this tragedy to create such like
a layered album.
Yeah. But I think like taste-wise, that's kind of why it's not higher on my list. Right above that at number 19, we have Wasteland Baby by Hozier. I like this album, though it's not my favorite Hozier project.
Yeah.
I really think his first album is my favorite.
Gotcha.
If I'm being honest. The songwriting is pretty decent on here. I like how he sticks to the theme while also having some like uplifting sounding tracks. You kind of feel like you're in a movie a little bit when you're listening to Hozier.
A lot of gospel soul on there.
And it's fun and I really like it. Like the whole Doomsday Clock motif. It's a fun like thing to embrace, I feel like. Songs are really creative generally, like musically, I would say. But I don't know. I know people point to this one as like his better project, like some people at least. I just personally still love his first album.
Yeah,
I think he was just like very, very palatable. This one he kind of got to get more like
more into
weeds,
Hozier,
more into the Doomsday Clock. And
yeah,
sometimes I just don't want to think about it. You know what I mean?
It's a good point. Honestly, still topical to this day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
still very relevant to right now. Yeah, no, like. It makes sense why he's such a renowned name in pop music right now. You could tell he put the work in, like it's very evident from like just the first track alone. Lyrically, he references a lot of things that are up my alley, but this isn't like an always listen for me. But I definitely would like revisit it.
Gotcha.
Without a doubt. At number 18, we have The Man Machine by Kraftwerk.
Gotcha.
My listening experience of this album, although was not the most awe-inspiring, it's still pretty fond, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a cool little album.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's like the backbone of where music with electronics was like going to go.
One of like the foundational albums in that regards.
Like literally the forefather of like EDM and like just all that
like
shit.
techno.
Yeah. No, and it's fucking awesome, man. And as someone who has done his time listening to a lot of EDM and like electronic and techno music, I think it's cool to see like how they genre bended new wave to something completely different. Neon Lights left like a very good impression on me. I've listened to that song a couple of times, which is fun. But I will say, like, the run from The Robots to Metropolis, like the first 3 tracks, good shit.
Yeah.
It's a really fun listen.
It's really good.
They're really creative. And yeah, no, I would definitely listen to this album again. I feel like I would appreciate it more the second time around.
Yeah, it's also not that long either, which
That's
is also
the
really
good
nice.
thing. And I do like that, given my busy schedule, which I still listen with headphones. Tom.
Yeah.
At least he got them.
That's a good point. Hey, we're always growing at the family album.
I'm glad that we bullied him into getting it.
And his reward was Pinkerton by Weezer.
Which he loved.
Check out the episode from last week.
He loved
It was
Pinkerton.
his like first S tier album that he ever ranked on the show.
Oh man, that was a great episode, genuinely.
Where we at, Matt?
In terms of letter, we're definitely now like, I would say Man Machine was like the start of the B tier.
Cool.
And we're at number 17, which is Dopamine by Borns. Not gonna lie, the lyrics are not always the best.
No.
But I think genuinely the music makes up for it.
I gotcha.
I personally believe that.
Yeah.
I love how he plays around with the psychedelic pop as a subgenre, excuse me. And he creates vibes that really won't be seen clearly in other places. While I hear the Tame Impala argument, like similarity,
Yeah.
I don't really see it that much because of his vocals. Because I feel like his vocals kind of help like really
Differentiate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least for me personally.
And his music is like different enough. It's not like as psychedelic.
Yeah.
It's more like electronic funk kind of.
Yeah, and I feel like Tame Impala is more like cool tones, where Borns, this album is more like warm tones.
Yeah,
if
and-
that makes any sense.
And way more energetic too.
A lot of reverb.
Yes.
A lot of fucking reverb. But I love it, honestly. The only real stinker on here in terms of like bad lyrics, delivery, and song structure is Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
That song kind of blows. Even when I liked it in high school, like I always thought like this song is just clunky.
Yeah.
McClunky even. McClunky. Other than that, I genuinely think it's a solid album and could be a nice staple of like side pocketed like indie music at the time. I would honestly still recommend anybody listen to it. The lyrics are not going to enlighten you though in any way.
No.
And also keep in mind of like all the history surrounding him as an artist. That is the only advice I would say to you family heads. I'm looking off into like a direction in the room.
At our live studio audience.
Yes, thank you everybody. Even though I'm not going to edit you in.
No, they're a very respectable, quiet crowd.
Yes, it's quiet time. It's special time. Guys, I say things. I just sometimes things will just come out of my mouth and I don't fucking know what I'm gonna say.
That's the joy of a podcast.
It's why
you never know what might happen.
It's why I'm trying to write more shit down because sometimes Matt Glass should not freeball stuff, except if he's going commando. But anyway, number 6.
Like on this next entry.
Number 16 is Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. This not a lot to say about this album. Like this album is fucking awesome. It's like objectively better in terms of pacing, songwriting, and vocals and song structure. Like Phoebe Bridgers she knows what she's doing. You know what I mean? I would say a lot more than Borns, both in her personal life and
musical. Yes.
Most of these tracks are so well done and have like lyrical moments that will stick with anybody for a little while.
Yeah.
Some that will make you feel physically ill, as The Taste of Vomit, our very special guest, did say. Kyoto is like the song, but I still love it anyway.
It's fantastic.
It's fucking awesome. Like I knew this had to be within the top 20 as we were inching closer to like my top 10.
My gosh, I don't blame you.
Number 15 fucking surprised me.
Okay.
I have re-listened to this album a few times in full, and that is Silk Degrees by Boz Scaggs.
Really?
I actually kind of like this album.
Okay.
I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the album with Lido Shuffle after I heard it on Sirius XM
so many
fucking times. But like as an active listen though, I kind of enjoyed it. Like
gotcha.
The instrumentation is really good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
In headphones and like a good stereo like setup. This album is really enjoyable.
Proto Toto, as we explained.
The musicians on this album are cracked. Like it's kind of also cool to see that like I didn't know it was Toto until that episode, so I was like, what the fuck? So
It makes so much sense.
it really does, because they are fucking cracked musicians.
Yeah.
The production of this album is also low-key cracked, I would say.
Very smooth.
I love the way that they sort of spread out the drums a bit and
Mhm.
like make it feel like you're in the kit, as I said on that episode. The songwriting is pretty decent throughout. The only weak portions of the album are probably the vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, his Kermitisms are definitely
Present.
if he's still alive, he could probably voice Kermit now,
That's
because
true.
people are unhappy with the new voice of Kermit.
Really?
Guys, grow up, okay? Kermit is old. He's been doing this shit for years. He's gonna sound different at age 60.
It's like the Amazing World of Gumball. They always replace the voice actors.
Yeah, and like I'm fine with him sounding kind of weird. He still has the base. Let me go on a tangent. He still has the basis of what Kermit's voice is all about.
The Kermit principles.
Exactly. He still has the basis of what Kermit is all about. But like I like to imagine he's like kind of older now. You know what I mean?
He's a wiser Kermit.
Yes. Exactly. I'm very passionate about the Muppets.
I understand.
I know I didn't talk about it much on the Rocky Horror episode of this season.
Yeah.
But like I might genuinely, like, Tom is a big fan, but I'm also a pretty big fan. Like I rewatched like the whole show.
Nice, dude.
It was fun. I like it.
Hey, of course, Muppets are iconic.
Sometimes you just need good vibes, man.
And the Muppets are here to deliver.
Last things I'll say, Lowdown, Lido, and even the opener, in my opinion, What Can I Say? I think also what's
Georgia?
and also What the Girl Gotta Do.
Gotcha.
Is that what it's called?
It's
It's
what do you
some-
want the girl to do?
What do you want the girl? What the Girl Gotta Do. That's actually a Jonas Brothers song.
Yeah.
It's called What a Man Gotta Do, and I amalgamated the two titles.
You see, it's the Jonas Brothers doing Boss Skaggs.
I don't want to hear
No,
that.
neither do I.
Just Nick Jonas trying to be Kermit.
Georgia, what can I say?
Oh man. Sorry for all of you at home who had to hear that. But if you want to hear more of that, listen to our
Episode 58, baby.
Lines, Vines, and Trying Times, and The Wall.
Which we'll get to.
Oh, yeah, we will get to. Because Lines, Vines, Trying Times coming back for number 14. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be crazy.
It's number 29 and 13.
Incredible. At number 14 is Bundles by Soft Machine.
Fuck yeah.
I enjoy this as an album a lot. I don't typically listen to the songs like separately outside the album.
Yeah.
Because it's so cohesive and the pacing is really, really good.
It's excellent.
Musicianship is tight as fuck. I love the wacky ass titles, like
Right.
the fucking Bag Snake and all that
Yeah.
shit.
The man who stared at trains.
Yeah, no, I mean, who doesn't want to fucking stare at trains?
That's literally me, dude.
Like, actually, I knew it was enough to warrant like almost top 10 status.
Yeah.
Because I think I made it pretty clear on that episode that I very much enjoyed it.
And I'm glad you did, man. I always love sharing that prog love.
Prog love.
Prog love. Prog love.
Oh, man. The pacing, like I said, is my favorite part of the album because of how action-packed the track list is. And then you get to a closer that just makes you feel lighter than air. It's just, it's a good-ass time all
It's
around.
excellent.
Nothing more. What more can I say, as Boz Skaggs said? Personally, what more can I say? At number 13, we have Animals by Pink Floyd.
Nice.
Although I do enjoy the other Pink album way more, as you will probably see,
Yeah.
this album definitely grew on me a lot because I re-listened to it and I felt like pretty average about it the first time, but especially after learning more about the band as a whole,
Yeah.
I felt like my appreciation for them and this album definitely increased. So
Did you listen to it after The Wall, or re-listen to it after you listened to The Wall?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I
Gotcha.
like the first time I listened to it, that was another thing. Like that episode we recorded with Tim, it was kind of at an awkward point
Yeah.
in the year for me because I was like really tired from this new job that I started. So like I was trying to figure a lot of shit out.
Yeah.
But like I felt like I definitely had to re-listen before the end of the season. And yeah, no, like the ways they can achieve like certain sounds, like the pigs and the dogs, that's one thing. But I also just love like the criticisms of the elite.
So good.
There's just nothing
Yeah.
like Pink Floyd knows how to be scathing and incisive in many ways, and this is really done well, I would say. If the songs were more enjoyable like by themselves, I would say I'd probably put this higher on my list, but it's also very tough competition to the other one, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
And that's Nostalgia Critics The Wall. So
The only other album appearing twice on this list.
that'd be crazy if I put like the same album like low and then like, you know what?
Yeah.
I felt the need to make a comeback.
It's last
so
and first.
that'd be crazy. But this album is definitely enjoyable, and I'm glad I took the time to revisit and re-listen to it because I feel like I didn't do my thoughts a lot of justice.
I gotcha.
Given the timing of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
At number 12 is Haram by Armand Hammer.
Nice.
Probably my favorite Armand Hammer project of the ones I've listened to.
Gotcha.
I love the dark, twisted imagery and the
Yeah.
concept behind the album, both in terms of the samples to some of these fucking bars.
Yeah.
This album just absolutely delivers, in my opinion. Billy Woods, I've already talked about how much I love him as an MC, and I had never really listened to Elucid that much besides like a little bit of Diabetic Test Strips and this album, I guess. But they have fucking scathing lyrics.
Yeah, man.
That help surface
It's dark.
these fucking undertones of society with references to Islamic scripture, which is fucking wild. Fucking crazy that they did that because I'm sure that was haram in itself, if
Yeah.
I'm being honest. But they don't fucking care. They have shit to say.
Exactly. And they fucking say it.
The imagery of the smoked ham being sold in the track Chicharrones, like holy fucking shit, gave me chills for months. The whole theme of questioning the consequences of breaking haram, since like so many had done it one way or another, whether you're living like rats or in the high life, it sits with you for a very long time. It's both like existential of your place in the world and also, am I a good person?
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
they are able to achieve that in such like a remarkable way. And almost like a cartoon kind of way, but like scary cartoon. Like there's a horrifying element to this.
Yeah, there's like a heavy feeling you get listening to this album.
But I love it, quite frankly, and I'm happy I got to experience it. There was some steep competition, in my opinion, to the top 10, so that's why it's not there. We're well into A tier, by the way. I probably should have mentioned.
Gotcha.
Like, I would have put, honestly, like, Silk Degrees is like edging A tier.
Okay.
Like it's like the highest of B. We're reaching the top
Peaks
10.
of A tier.
The peaks of A tier. What Happened to the Heart by Aurora is awesome. There's a reason why it's the closest one to my top 10 and an A tier. I had never heard of this album or this artist before, and I feel like I've been missing out.
Gotcha.
Quite frankly, her music is, especially on here, so good. Most tracks to me are like no skips, and I could listen to Some Type of Skin like forever. Like
Yeah.
that song is fucking lit as fuck. Her vocals are absolutely serving, and they deserve to have more recognition, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, she is a crazy vocalist, from like how high she could sing to like these really like powerful belting moments.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Like
god,
the Celtic inspired, just like a nature of like some of the tracks too.
It's
Just like
very
taking
fun.
like art pop to like that level.
It's with the sort of, as you mentioned,
Kate Bush influence.
Bush
Yeah,
influence.
That I loved.
no,
Yeah.
I loved it a lot, and I've listened to this album in full a couple of times, but like Some Type of Skin, man, is like,
Yeah, always there.
oh man, like this is genuinely, despite it having sort of heavy themes of relationships, is like oddly a feel good album for me.
Yeah.
just from how fucking awesome the music is alone.
Yeah.
And I am so jealous that Kat saw her in concert, even though I didn't know who this fucking person was like a couple months ago.
I'm jealous now.
Now I'm fucking jealous.
How dare you, Kat?
Fuck you, Kat. Honestly, no, I'm just kidding, Kat. You were a great guest.
Yes.
I also work with you, so I don't want you to get mad at me for
And
saying
you will probably listen to this episode.
it's okay. I'll preemptively tell her I said fuck you at work tomorrow, because this will come out tomorrow on
Exactly.
Tuesday.
Yes.
because it's Monday right now.
Yes, we are recording this the day before it comes out, as we always
I'm
do.
editing as we speak.
Yeah, he's really efficient with sound effects that are practical and editing.
That you will never hear because it's family meeting.
Yes.
Oh man. To quote the track list, I do feel good about this album.
Oh shit, dude.
If we had alarms, I'd be sounding them right now. Not sounding them. I'm wait.
Wait, what?
That was unironically a lot funnier than I thought.
That was good.
Oh man. Anyway, we're
Top
at my
10?
top 10. Oh, I'm so excited.
What do we got?
At number 10, we have High Wraith by Cat System Corp.
All right. 10 albums apart.
This still, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Question of the week. What does that mean? We're gonna do like a Bill Cipher inspired like
We're gonna do an ARG real
codex.
quick.
Yeah, real quick. This still stands as my favorite project by Corp. I listened to his album from this year. I think this album has so much to offer, and the concept is utilized very well, while also having like such variety and crazy experimental tracks. Like it leans more into like mall soft, but there is vaporwave on here to appreciate, in my opinion. Having samples that groove so hard, like Emerald City 2070, I Coliseum Do, UU Apple ABC, to like songs that transcend reality, like Haru Plaza, Eden Transit, The Hanging Garden, and the titular High Wraith 1 and High Wraith 2. I really fuck with this album. I put it on. It's like becoming a comfort album for me.
Nice.
I just really like the place that it puts me in. I feel like I can either like zone out to this album or lock in with this album playing in the background.
Yeah.
And it just, I feel like has so much to offer, in my opinion. It hit me at a really nice time for those who like dream of both the past and a world where there's something more, while also simultaneously being chill as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
like it's pretty hard to achieve all that. And the fact that like a vaporwave / mallsoft album, an ambient album, moved me in that way, it's kind of remarkable in my opinion. So I definitely was like, yeah, this is top 10. without a doubt.
This is top 10.
One might say. At number 9, we have Glow On by Turnstile.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Dude,
Nice.
since that episode, I have been listening to this album nonstop.
It's a banger, dude. It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Like Alien Love Call, man. Like I already know I wrote about it in my notes, but like the album version and the version they did with Bad Bad
Yeah,
Not
man.
Good.
That was
like,
sick.
I cannot wait for their next album. Even if it's just more Glow On, like I'm fine with that.
It's coming out soon.
I'm so
Yeah.
oh, dude.
Next week as of recording.
You have no idea how excited I am. Like, this album shot up as a personal favorite of mine. It's, for a hardcore album, there's something literally for everybody on
Exactly.
here.
Yeah.
I did not expect to like this album to the extent that I did, as somebody who really isn't familiar with most like bands and albums in this genre. There's just like everything, like dance rock, Latin shuffle, absolute thrash. Like this is a perfect intro into the band and maybe even like just the scene.
Oh, this is like Baby's first hardcore album. Like, listen to this.
It's
yeah.
regarded nowadays, right? As like, because 2023,
This is the 2021.
2021.
This came out, yeah.
The vocals, while consistently like really intense and passionate and loud, they don't feel fatiguing despite the genre bending so much all across on each track. Like, they don't feel like they struggle to fit anywhere on the record. And yeah, it is, in my opinion, becoming a modern must listen. Like, I feel like definitely.
Yeah, man.
If you want like just, I feel like you said on that episode, it kind of got you a little bit out of your rock rut.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like if you're really looking for just a good modern like rock hardcore album, this is definitely like the one to listen to.
So fun and just really fucking good.
I've thrown this on at work so many times and just fucking like beat the shit out of Heavy Power, like,
And your coworkers.
yeah, we all mosh in the middle of the warehouse I work at. Nah, I would lose that fight.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's so many people there who are taller than me. I'm a short king, guys.
Aw.
I'm 5'11", and I love being 5'11".
Matt's actually being generous. He's actually 3 feet tall in real life.
God, I mean, there would be advantages to being 3 feet tall.
That's true. You have the halfling ability to hide behind someone taller than you.
Oh, we're doing
And blend
D&D
in.
rules.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I think I cut you off at one point. You were about to say something.
I'll save for when I talk about the album because I
Gotcha.
thought I wanted to bring up.
Gotcha. Well, I can't wait to hear it, AJ.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Let me keep going, though. At number 8 is Masterpiece by Big Thief.
Gotcha.
This album, being this high, it may be purely based in bias, but I just feel like I see so many things about this album that to me just shine so much as I listen to it. If they didn't do a remaster of this record, like, I feel like it wouldn't be this high, but the remaster really made me appreciate the instrumentation and just like a lot of the production.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that high on the list, but I'm so glad they did the remaster in 2023 because like in terms of like the album's main contents, this is probably my favorite Big Thief project.
Gotcha.
Like, I love Dragon New Warm.
Yeah.
Dragon New Warm is such a good album. I love all the creative ideas on here, but like it shows off Adrian Lenker at their most lyrically raw. And her voice like takes a little bit of time to get used to. I won't lie, but when I say I'm like enthralled by it on this album, like believe me, because holy shit, like having like such a sweet voice be on top of like just this like
heart-wrenching lyrics,
heart-wrenching like bar band country rock like gutting lyrics. There's something about it. It's like it really just touches your heartstrings. This feels like you're at a bar and somehow you're like watching this band do their whole set and like hanging on to every word.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel when I drive to this song. From the critically sad and sobbing punch in the face like masterpiece to Vegas being like so saturated in like standard indie rock, and then to the fucking like insane instrumental of Real Love.
Yeah.
I cannot get enough of this album. And I'm so excited because at time of recording, I got tickets to see them.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
I bought 3 tickets to concerts
Nice, man.
like last week.
You got money now.
It's fucking awesome. Money is awesome, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not everything, but like,
It's kind of tight.
It's-
It's the root of all evil, but it's fucking tight.
yes. And I gotta be honest, like, I'm fucking excited. I'm so excited to see him live.
Enjoy that show, man. That'll be fun.
It's gonna be kick-ass. But what else is kick-ass is the rest of this list.
Yes, sir.
Because right next, we got To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar.
Nice.
This was another record that I had to re-listen to. So glad I did.
Yeah.
I loved it the last time, but I really loved it the second time. It's just a generally like enjoyable record, despite it being like so heavy at times.
Yeah.
Like I love it. I was kind of in a weird headspace at time of recording that episode, which I think altered both like my perception and the discussion of this album a little bit. That being said, upon re-listen, it's probably one of my favorite new like records as far as rap goes.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
It's excellent.
The usage of abstract jazz in the beginning, like on For Free.
Dude, the samples are so fucking good on this
fucking
album.
like terrifying production on You. The bar for bar lyrics on like Hood Politics.
Yeah.
And then the ending fucking gutting you.
Mortal Man.
With the fucking silence as the
Yep.
conversation just fucking drops. Like, oh my god. This album utilizes the idea of motif, though non-musical at times, incredibly.
Oh my god, yeah.
And Thundercat, 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 Thundercat.
What more need to be said?
Oh mama. I tell you.
I tell you.
I just turned to Johnny Bravo and Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, they're fusion. Johnny Dangerfield.
Oh man, that's a bad idea.
Or Rodney Bravo.
It's so Rodney Bravo is a porn star. That is just straight up a porn star right
Yes.
there.
Rodney.
Exactly. Bravo.
Thank you.
AJ.
Thank you.
I just hit the microphone. Not the goblins, me, because there are no goblins on Family Meeting.
No, they respect the sanctity of family meeting.
Wonder if Exact YouTube let them into the bunker.
Who knows?
Yeah, by the
That's a
way,
season 4 question.
probably should have also let you know, he let us go like a while ago.
Why has he not come to like kick us out?
Because we can't like leave.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that why there's just like 3-year supply of like oats in the back room?
Yeah, he said something in the contract about like the next time I go in, I probably won't be able to get out. But I just kind of I was babysitting a scorpion at the time, so I
see. How does Tom fit into that? How does he get in? Is he still hired?
I don't know. I didn't read the fine print. I just was like, why do you think I have so much money now? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
see.
because I keep babysitting his obscenely large scorpion and doing the family album podcast.
Well, could you like share some of that wealth, man? I mean, like,
I didn't read the fine print. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm gonna have Tom just pour so much acid into the mic, dude.
no more acid. We can't have any more acid in the
Not
bunker.
the acid dungeon.
But besides the burning sensation of acid, there are some burning sensational lyrics that
Yes,
are on
there
this
are.
album. And I'm so happy that I re-listened to it because otherwise it probably wouldn't have been number 7. But oh my god, Kendrick, he's still doing incredible shit, which is awesome.
I'm glad
but
he's on top.
This was crazy that he like conceptualized this.
I know, man.
Number 6. No surprise, we have Brat by Charlie XCX.
I see.
I don't need to go on again about how much I love this album. It's funny because I felt like I struggled to talk about what it is about this album I liked besides the music. But after our episode with Elizabeth, I feel like my appreciation just like deepened even more.
Yeah.
It's just this dark underbelly of song topics combined with rather like hairy instrumentals. Like, like there's just like so much shit happening.
Yeah.
But like it's still trying to like uphold the party girl anthem kind of like theme, and it works. Like people gravitated toward it for a reason.
Yeah, it's created a whole just like genre of people.
Literally, Elizabeth has a tattoo of Brat.
Exactly, or at least give them an outlet to express themselves more freely, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to make Brat your personality, I fucking respect it.
Exactly.
It's a great album. I love it. I'm still listening to it. Songs in here that are just absolutely filthy. Von Dutch, Mean Girls, 365, Girls So Confusing. And you know what, AJ? I like B2B. Thank you very much.
You can have it.
I like the fact that it repeats the thing. Fuck you, man. I'm
sorry.
I don't know why. I wrote "fuck you, AJ" in my notes,
so I had to say it. As is law.
I like B2. No, I do like the repeating part.
Hey man, that's awesome.
Me saying "fuck you," you're like, that's awesome, man.
Dude, that rules. I'm so happy for you.
No skips on this record for me. There's a reason why it's my 5th place of 2024, despite the rise and fall of the Midwest Princess being at the top.
Of course.
I love this record. If you want to hear like all my thoughts about it, you can hear it on the
2 episodes.
Yeah, you can hear it on the end of the year ranking of 2024 and our episode with Elizabeth.
55. Check that one out.
At number 5, we have Voulez-Vous by ABBA.
Wow, okay.
This started off as an album I would listen to like most of the songs off of, and now I listen to the full thing very often.
How often does Your Mother Know pop up?
We're gonna get there.
I see.
Instrumentally, instrumentally and vocally, this album is strong as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it's done really well. Even the lesser enjoyable songs are still pretty decent. It's got some bangers like If It Wasn't for the Nights, Chiquitita, Angel Eyes, Summer Night City, and then has some good deep cuts like I Have a Dream, The King Has Lost Its Crown. Unfortunately, I feel like we've joked about Does Your Mother Know so much. I do listen to it a lot more than I think I should.
More ironically, though, I guess.
I'm a little scared it's going to end up on my Spotify rap. I'm going to have a Nightmare Blunt rotation of songs at the end of this year.
Like you just, like the Spotify rap, you just hear the song, yes, no, teasing me. It's like, oh, fuck.
It's going to be Doris, Green Lovers.
World War III.
World War III. Oh man, it's gonna be a fucking Nightmare Blunt rotation, but I'm excited.
Bring the runtime down.
Hashtag. My mysteriously good impression
of Rob Walker.
Of Rob Walker. Oh man, fuck that guy. Yeah. But I could see it being the only true miss on the album. Does Your Mother Know? But it's kind of become a meme song to me at this point, so
it's just goofy.
I find myself laughing at it because it's so bad.
It's not
But the
good.
rest of the album is pretty decent. Even like the shittier songs like Love Light, because it's just Angel Eyes Part 2.
Yeah.
And then like Lovers Live a Little Longer, I think is just not the best song. But like I still really like the album a lot. And I feel like all the good songs on there really make up for it, in my opinion. Even if Does Your Mother Know is kind of out of place.
Yeah.
This album is great. I listened to this so much. It needs to be in my top 5.
Nice.
At number 4, we have the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust. Could you fucking imagine?
Oh, dude, if you did that again.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be a really good bit.
My 3rd. Or no, technically it's my 4th.
We never talked about that album.
Oh, man. This album, I don't need to say a lot about it because you fucking know. You and the audience, AJ.
Yes.
Y'all fucking know. Does your mother know? Question of the week.
Wait, does your mother know? Has she listened to David Bowie at all?
If she is, or if she has, I mean, she's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good taste.
Certified family album cool.
I'm going to enjoy making that theme music.
There you go.
This album is just a cultural phenomenon of a project. I love this album way before the podcast, and I really enjoy just everything on it. It was cool that Emma brought it on. It's just flashy and in your face and captures like everything I love about sci-fi and glam rock at the same time.
Yeah.
The known songs are incredible, like Starman, Moon Age Daydream, 5 Years, Suffragette City, and then both Lady and Ziggy Stardust are two
both
very
fantastic.
fucking good songs. And yeah, I felt like putting it any lower than like my top 10 would have just been probably sacrilege. because it's a great album, but also it's kind of legendary.
Yeah, it earned that status.
This is a very interesting one at my number 3.
Pray for the Wicked.
Yeah, I just something about it, man. Like once I had that 17th re-listen, I just was like, this.
It makes sense now.
This is what it feels like when you become one of the drunks. Oh, fuck that album, man.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna fuck this album. Meatloaf, get in my. I want that on a shirt so fucking bad.
Oh, that's awesome.
I feel like we had so many good quotes this season.
I know. Season 3, pretty solid.
We should make some merch.
Yeah.
Anyway, Heard Noises by Matt Berry is at my 3rd.
Gotcha.
It's no secret that this was going to be pretty high on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't necessarily think the album is better than the previous one per se.
Yeah.
I listen to this literally all the time.
I gotcha. Recency
it's,
bias.
It's pretty fucking good, in my opinion, by today's standards of music, especially given the fact that he did it all himself.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I felt like it needed to be given the praise it deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Berry is a very particular songwriter, but I really dig what he did on this album, especially the usage of like the 70s influence in his music. And it's like truthfully a breath of fresh air, especially in like my 2025 overall album listening experience. Almost every single song on here, in my opinion, is a no skip. I like the fact that he just like sounds actually like sincere on this album, both lyrically and vocally. He doesn't play around with like the pitch of his vocals like too much.
Yeah.
All the features add something on each track, whether it's like spoken word or like
even instrumental.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's a surprisingly introspective and sophisticated album, despite having Wedding Photo Stranger.
Yeah.
My favorite tracks on here have to be I Got a Limit. That's probably my favorite one on here. Silver Rings right after that. Why on Fire. Stay on the Ground. To Love What Once Was. And Canada Dry.
Yeah.
I still think Canada Dry should have been
the closer.
But I still like the closer anyway. It's a nice jaunt.
Yes. I enjoy that one too.
It's a very fun listen. If you have not listened to this album that came out this year, please listen to it.
Yeah, one of our favorites of the year so far.
I think y'all would really like it. And it would explain me as a person. I feel like low-key. We're at my final 2.
Yeah, man.
At number 2 is The Wall by Pink Floyd.
There we go.
This album is honestly a masterpiece. It's my favorite Pink Floyd album that I've listened to so far. While the songs are not exactly highlighting so much like variety, maybe in comparison to their other projects, this album and the pacing, they are used perfectly. The pacing is incredible. The vocals on every track just deliver, whether it's Roger Waters or what's the name of the other guy?
David Gilmour.
David Gilmour.
Yeah.
I'm still learning the names, family.
Yes.
Instrumentally, every single track on here is, in my opinion, pretty good. I said perfect in my notes, but genuinely, I'll say pretty good.
Yeah,
because they're
to be fair. Yeah.
To be fair, yeah. Some of the best guitar work and synthesizer and keyboard work I'd ever heard. It's honestly such a banger of an album, and I would say if you're into album listening, this is definitely a must listen.
Oh yeah, for real.
I literally saw a user on Instagram tell me albums he would put as contenders to an album that you must listen to before you die.
Yeah.
And he did put this as one of them.
That makes sense, man.
I was like, yeah, no, that is correct.
Yep.
The bass on this album also needs to be praised because holy shit, it is insane.
Yep.
Especially the way they utilize it, a lot of like sub-harmonics and like the production. Favorite songs on here in no particular order: In the Flesh, both renditions, Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2 specifically. One of My Turns instrumentally is just insane.
Yep.
And like although
Production-wise.
it's a terrifying concept, it's definitely like it's done so well, so you gotta appreciate it. Bring the Boys Back Home, Run Like Hell, and the dramatic closer of The Trial. Well, I know there's penultimate, but it's like, you know,
climax.
Yeah, climax is yes. Yeah, no, I love this album. Genuinely, fucking love this album.
It makes me really happy, man.
I would say these two are in the S tier range.
Good stuff.
Because my last one is Songs for the Deaf by Queens of the Stone
man.
Age.
Okay.
I got really into this band after Clay's episode.
Yeah.
My opinion of this album is just so fucking positive. Like every single track on here, in my opinion, is perfectly done. Even like, the Preacher one, I really, really like too.
Yeah. Got Us on the Radio.
That's it. I listen to these a lot in my car, but every single time I listen to them in full, and I'm starting to know the words. Every track on here I never skip, and it's perfectly done. I've become such like a fan of this album and Rated R by extension, and I think Josh Homme as a vocalist is like just my cup of tea.
Nice.
He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
all the musicianship is just so fucking tight on this album.
the amount of notable features on this album really just show in every single track. Like they cut like no corners.
Yeah.
Especially on the drums. Like
Mr. Grohl.
they are filthy.
Yep.
The concept, while it is like not as like grandiose, it has this constant lingering presence throughout that I just like love, because sometimes you listen to it and it just feels like suffocating. Feels like hot. Like
Yeah.
I can't, like the suffocating heat of hell.
Like driving through the desert.
Our Father who art in hell. Oh, at time of recording, shout out to Ghost for doing a horrific cover of Bohemian Rhapsody. That was
Unfortunate.
Brian May left.
Really?
I'm pretty sure he got up to leave.
Yikes.
Like the technical director in the booth that was like doing the multicam, they cut to Brian May and his head just drooped.
Oh, that's so
As
tragic,
Tobias
dude.
Forge tried to hit the high note, and then at one point he got up and it looked like he was about to just leave. I mean, I don't know. I could just be reading his body language all wrong. Holy shit, though, he did not look happy.
Sad day for Ghost fans.
As a guy who likes Ghost and is a huge Queen fan, that was a little painful for me to listen to.
I can see why.
Did you listen? I think I sent.
I listened to a little bit. I didn't want to pain myself with the full listen.
Not a like. Side tangent before I finish. That is not a song that you lower the key.
I would agree.
It's too iconic.
Yeah.
Unless it's instrumental.
It's tough to do a good cover of that, but boy howdy, everyone fucking loves to try.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I've seen so many covers. The only cover of that song that I've loved is the Vitamin String Quartet.
Okay.
Because it's just 4 string instruments and a piano, and it's perfectly fine.
Nice.
No, honestly, it's the only way I feel like it could be positively conveyed.
Yeah, and it just different format. Yeah.
Speaking of rock songs that are iconic, songs for the deaf. Some of the filthiest guitar licks I'd ever heard on any rock record, period. The drum work is to be marveled because it's just so like inventive and just so fucking like full of energy.
Yep.
They mixed 2 different drum kits on this album to get like a full sound, both electronic and analog. I would say pretty much every song on here is my favorite. I fucking love this band, and this album like made me like this band and a few other Josh Homme projects as well. And that is why it is my number 1.
Very cool, man. Also really cool a guest album got that top spot.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't expecting that. Like I was really prepared for that to be my number 1, but then I was just going through like I had to like put all the songs that I liked in comparison. And while The Wall had more
quality
songs
over quantity.
I mean, quality-wise, The Wall
They're
is
pretty
also,
on par.
Oh my god! I mean, I would say The Wall might even be a little bit better.
I would personally agree, yeah, but
but at the same time, like, I feel like when it comes to the lyrics of like the song and like just the vibes, like it feels more my vibe.
Yeah,
it feels like more like the vibe that I'm like, you know what I mean?
That's Matt Core right there.
Matt Core. He's very awkward, but sometimes he likes to rage.
Exactly. You heard of Math Rock? This is Matt Rock.
Oh man, that's such a bad idea. Tom makes albums.
Yep, coming soon.
God, that's gonna be fucking insane.
I can't wait for that.
But speaking of fucking insane, AJ,
yeah,
I want to hear your list of season 3 songs. I had no idea what I was gonna say there.
Dude, that's fucking insane, man. Dude, to me, crazy.
That's so funny. Crazy glue.
It's just regular glue to me, man. You wouldn't get it.
He glocked in my spiel
until I glued.
Anyway, AJ, are you ready?
I am ready. We got 36 albums to go through. Starting off from the bottom, I'm going to say 36 and 35 at the same time. They are the same that you had, different order though.
I see.
At the very bottom of my list, at number 36, with an F tier, we have The Dark Side of the Moon Redux by Roger Waters. Also, I'm going to preface this. I have all of my albums ranked, but some albums that are lower letter grade are above some that are higher letter grade.
Okay.
And the way that I do that is just like I just like that more, but I think it's like a C tier album Just getting that out there
No worries.
in terms of power scaling. All of our family album power scalers out there.
Let it be known canon-wise that Tom and I will fight, and only one person will win.
Exactly.
Question of the week.
Their current power level, Matt's sitting pretty with like an 18,000. Tom's training up though, going for 14,000. We'll see where he ends up by next season.
Anyway, AJ, I also forgot to mention The Wall and Songs for the Deaf are S tier for me.
Word. Good, as they should be. Number 36, we have The Dark Side of the Moon Redux by Roger Waters. I mean, and I'll say both of these at the same time because 35 is Nostalgia Critics The Wall. These albums are
amazing.
They're the best things we've covered on this podcast. But they're more similar in ways than you might think, where they are an artist who fundamentally just misunderstands Pink Floyd at its core. But why Roger Waters is a tier below is because he was in the band.
Exactly.
And that is disappointing, flabbergasting.
It's unforgivable.
Unforgivable.
Honestly.
Yeah, he basically uses Dark Side of the Moon as almost a cash grab and just a complete vanity project to just express his ideas as well as just dissatisfaction with his standing and career with Pink Floyd. And it's just pathetic to listen to. As we've mentioned in that episode multiple times, does not hold a candle to the original whatsoever. Just watered down versions, literally watered down versions of iconic tracks.
I felt like, honestly, after we recorded that episode, it's like this onus was just lifted from our shoulders.
Literally, like there was like a fucking heavy like film like over us while we were just talking about this album. It was crazy.
It was wild.
Yeah. Nostalgia Critic, on the other hand, while he also fundamentally misunderstands Pink Floyd's The Wall, there's almost like a train wreck charm to it where it's just like, you just can't look away. Like, it's just so baffling that it's almost fascinating. It's just how he just everything just goes over his head.
It's a fucking spectacle of
Literally.
how fucking bad it is.
It is a fucking spectacle if you watch the video that goes along with it too.
Because that was my first impression of The Wall ever.
Exactly.
And I was like, this is just the craziest thing. Crazy toys in the
attic, Fanna's trial.
God.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Nostalgia Critics The Wall, honestly, check it out. You don't have to, but
you don't have to.
if you're a Pink Floyd fan and you want to get angry, watch that video because there's a lot to piss you off.
Oh man.
I feel like Doug Walker gets more of a pass than Roger Waters because he's a YouTube critic who's notoriously known for having strange criticisms. So this isn't out of the ordinary for him, but it is still absurd at like just the fact that he did not like understand this album or the story whatsoever.
Because the thing is, like I said, it's so easy to grasp the story,
Literally,
whether you're watching the movie or not,
listening to the album.
And he had both aids there
Yes.
to his senses,
And he acts like the album doesn't exist either, which is the craziest part. Listen to that episode.
We have a lot to
We
say.
go the fuck off. But yes, those are my two F tiers for this season. And I think it's very fitting they are both Pink Floyd adjacent as they kind of brought this theme of Pink Floyd onto the show, which I'm glad we got to talk about so much.
Our undercurrent theme of Pink Floyd.
Our
this
dark
season.
underbelly. At number 34, at a D-, we have Pray for the Wicked by Panic at the Disco.
That's so fun. I mean, I figured it was going to be low, but that's so funny.
same
It's the
spot.
Same
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
spot. Oh, man.
So-
AJ, what do you hate about it?
I hate a lot about it. I mean, you know my opinions on Death of a Bachelor, so that's just that album turned up to 10 with like the least amount of self-awareness, which makes it even more insufferable.
It's like self-awareness, but more self-indulgence.
So, yes, that's a very good way to put it. Mindless self-indulgence, even, if you will. Fuck that band.
Yeah.
But yeah, this album is such like a shill project. Like, Brendan Urie really wants to have his cake and eat it too on this album, where he wants you to feel sympathy for like being locked into the life of like a celebrity musician, but also glamorizes it to like its full extent all across the album. Like Roaring 20s, High Hopes, Hey Look Ma, I Made It. All the stuff where he's just literally just talking about how awesome he is and how his career has gotten, while also just trying to play like the victim of just like the industry, and it just doesn't work. The production fucking sucks on this album. I hate modern Panic at the Disco production. This is that just like cranked all the way up with just super obnoxious, busy mixing, very loud instrumentals, and oh boy, my favorite, Brendan Urie screaming vocals. Can't escape it on this album.
No, you cannot.
So yes, Pray for the Wicked sits at a very fair, I think, D-. At number 33, we have F1 Trillion by Post Malone.
Is that the same spot, or
I think it's a little lower than what you had it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
This album sucks.
It's not good.
I honestly, I had this a little higher. I think I might have rated it like a D+ on Andrew's episode, but I brought it down to a D because I feel like, in retrospect, it feels kind of scummy seeing where Post Malone was and then where he went, where he kind of used his clout as like a rapper to like get all this fame and like use his resources to do what he really wanted in country. It feels disingenuous to just his past career and just to hip hop as a whole. But as an album, it also is not very good either. Using his clout to get all these features that ultimately amount to just filler is kind of embarrassing.
And you can't tell any of them apart.
Yeah.
Except for like 3.
Yeah, and they kind of suck. for real. There's a couple good features like Chris Stapleton's. His song's pretty good. I agree. I like Mexico, and there's another one on there. But like the big hit, like I Had Some Help sucks.
Just so bad.
Having Morgan Wallen on there is just shitty on principle.
The amount of times I'm getting gas at Wawa in PA.
Oh my god,
and
dude.
I fucking hear that song
Yeah.
and I'm like, I had some help. It's like, I'm getting my own gas. Shut the fuck
I
up.
don't need your help. I did not say the N-word, Morgan. Which you need a post help for.
That was like the same. I did not say the N-word, Skylar. I am the N-word.
I am the one who's racist.
I'd like to be recast as Walter Black.
The woking woke.
The woking woke. We got some gold on our hands, Sonari.
It's perfect.
Our backdoor pilot to
Yes,
the worst
woke.
show ever made.
Woking woke. It's beautiful. But this album also exemplifies like one of Post Malone's just like biggest flaws in my opinion. There's so much bloat on here. Like you could cut so many tracks off this album and you wouldn't really be missing anything because there's not much to miss, to be honest. But he just like always, he just puts way too much in his albums. And even though it's like under an hour, there's like almost like 20 tracks on here, which is kind of absurd, especially for a country album where a lot of the instrumentals sound very similar. And lyrically, it's very basic. The features don't really add much. I hate Yours as a closer and what it stands for.
It's terrible.
It's just not a very good album. And Andrew, I'm glad you agree with us on that front, at least. Number 32, we have at a D tier, Suicide Silence is self-titled.
Is that pretty much what I had, but like flipped, like with F1 Trillion?
Yes, pretty much. Yep. Yep.
It's just unanimously bad.
I think the only thing that's kind of saving Suicide Silence, it's funny.
It is funny.
It's like ironically funny.
Yeah.
Which is not their intention whatsoever. And of course, I think like as you said, like the sincereness of this album kind of like gives it a little boost because they did really try, but just like they were so confused like what they wanted to do. Also not helped by the awful lyrics. Song concepts that are just very strange. Very inconsistent vocal performances, fucking awful vocal performances, production that sounds like a garage band did it, like that self-produced it, even though like apparently one of like the biggest producers in that scene also produced it.
I forgot about that too.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Their foray into cleaner sounding nu metal in direction failed miserably, and it results in a similar way to Nostalgia Critic, just a kind of a train wreck album where you just can't stop listening to it.
I know I said it before, straight from the get-go, like...
Yeah, Doris, oh my god.
Oh, man, nothing is going to prepare me for the anger of, like, experiencing Doris and then having to listen to the rest of the album and not ever improving.
And just be like, this is it, huh? Conformity.
Hold me up! That was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, this album is not very good. And as opposed to another album that is a really good intro to metal, this is not it. At number 31, the last album in our D tier with a D+, we have Lines, Vines, and Trying Times by the Jonas Brothers.
We basically had the same spot.
I think when we get towards the C and B, there's just a couple like differences here and there. But,
I would imagine.
But our worst albums, like, what else was it gonna be?
The bottom 6 were the same.
Exactly.
It's so funny.
Lines, Vines, and Trying Times is not a good album.
No.
Seeing the Jonas Brothers try to veer away from like the kiddie image that Disney had kind of put them in that box, but kind of like stick to it as well. It was a very confusing album. Nick Jonas on this album is a terrible vocalist. He is so bad. I can't tell the difference between him and Joe Jonas. At least Joe is a little better.
A little bit, yeah.
As you said, the production is not very good. It's very on the nose at points, which is really uncomfortable and kind of offensive at some points.
I don't understand how on Poison Ivy they're like, you know that saxophone? Let's put it like so far in the right channel that it hurts you.
Like, to convey the itching of an STD, we're gonna have a shaker pan through the channels.
Who would win in a fight? God versus Joe versus Nick.
That's some power scaling right there.
Kevin will win.
Yes, he will. I think he's winning out of all those three. Instrumentally, this album isn't really too much to write home about. It's very basic, and that goes for the song structure as well. Very similar. The features on here are fitting at points, but boring. Questionable, but entertaining. Common has no right being on this album.
He must have been paid a lot of money by Disney or something.
Or maybe like Father Jonas was like a friend or something.
Not Father Jonas.
The plot twist, he was actually friends with Frankie the whole time.
That I'd believe that.
Yeah.
Honestly, at this point. I feel like Frankie now is friends with Common.
That makes more sense. This album is quite a dud. We had a blast tearing it apart on episode 58, so check that out if you want some more in-depth thoughts. But I think it kind of explains why the Jonas Brothers stopped being a band after they put this out.
Yeah, I wouldn't really want to be a band after writing fucking World War III, Paranoid.
Don't charge me for the crime. Fucking Fly With Me.
Fly With Me.
Woof. Speaking of woof, entering the C tier at a C-, we have Cannibal by Kesha. I do not really care for this project. Not really my thing. I think it is a nice kind of time capsule of what pop was at that time, and it is very cool to see how she influenced artists like Charli XCX going forward.
Yeah.
But her songwriting, her vocal delivery is very all over the place, very questionable. While there are highlights like the hits, of course, Blow is great, We Are Who We Are is fun. I like the Harold song, I like See You Next Tuesday. The other half of the album just kind of sucks in my opinion. Like, what's the one? It's the third track.
Grow a Pair.
Not Grow a Pair. We'll get to that one. It's the one where they're talking about in the club, Make Me Want to Come.
Oh, yeah.
Come.
Oh, man. I don't remember.
Yeah, that one's not great. The title track really sucks. And Grow a Pair is just awful. Did not age well whatsoever lyrically. And it, like I said, it sounds like a YouTube parody song. And this was like a mainline release for like a well-known artist.
Yeah.
Not established at the time, but still like popular. It's an EP, so it's like kind of inoffensive, but I did not get much enjoyment from this album whatsoever.
That makes sense. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was swallowing.
That's okay. And number 29, we have Beer Bongs and Bentleys by Post Malone. I don't like Post Malone, Matt, if you couldn't tell. This album I find fucking boring. Like, there's way too many fucking tracks on here, and they all sound the same to me. Literally, the only one that I could consider good off memory is Better Now.
Yeah.
And like that's a hit. Lyrically, this album can just really suck. Spoil My Night, as we mentioned, is just fucking terrible. Swale's, it sucks, dude. It really does. Ball for Me is okay. I'm not really a big trap guy. So like, and just hearing like all these like monotonous, repetitive beats, it just becomes such like a mind-numbing experience to sit through. As well as like Post Malone's just like drugged out vocals, just mumbling over the mic. I can't stand it.
The fucking vibrato thing he does.
Oh my god, how could I forget?
It does drive me a little crazy.
It's so frequent and so unnecessary. He just does it on like almost every lyric. It's crazy.
Yeah.
This album I don't really care for. It is a staple of that time and that era, but I don't really want to be in that era, and this is definitely an album I will never return to.
Yeah, I mean, as much as it's like kind of, I guess, on the somewhat higher part of my list, I also feel like it reminds me of like all the worst parts of high school.
Yeah, oh, that's a really good point.
Because when this came out, like, I do remember there was a kid on my bus who fucking had like a speaker.
Yeah,
And
oh,
many
no.
times I've heard like Better Now be played on the
Yeah.
speaker. I was like, okay,
Woof.
I'm better now.
Thank you, Bus Child. At number 28, we have Songs of Innocence by U2 at a C-. I feel like this might be a little too high, but looking at the list, I think it's pretty good where it is. As an album, I should say, I think it's fine where it is. It's painfully average, but the history of this album is what makes it so bad.
Yeah.
Just the complete unawareness or just arrogance to assume that everyone would just love the fact of having a free YouTube album on your phone that you could not delete.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, wow.
Songs of Innocence,
It's
I don't
like,
have to pay
it's
for
like
it.
U2 and it's free. Wow. Our favorite OC on this podcast,
Oh man,
the mildly amused nerd.
it's our new intern.
Exactly. It's Lyle.
Oh man, Kyle's dorkier younger brother.
Oh my god, my brother died in the riots. Wow.
But you look like you're gonna tell me not to come into school tomorrow, Pip.
Oh, shout out Lyle.
Shout out Lyle.
But as an album, Songs of Innocence is bad in parts, inoffensive in others. As we mentioned, the bad tracks are bad. Raised by Wolves is just fucking hilarious in terms of its songwriting structure and vocal delivery as well. Speaking of that, Bono is all over the place on this album.
Yeah.
As is the production. This album is produced pretty bad.
Yeah. Not very good by
yeah.
Danger Mouse.
Exactly, which is, I mean, I guess not too surprising based off what Evan was saying in
Yeah.
his guest episode, but still disappointing.
There was a drop off period, but like
Yeah.
Jesus.
Exactly. It's just, it sounds very hollow. The drums are mixed awfully on this album. And Bono's vocals, they kind of like sit on top of the mix, which really sucks because they're so present and they're not very good a lot of the time. There are some okay songs. I know you're not a big fan, but I think Volcano's okay. I think Cedarwood Road, I would agree, is the best song on this album. And the one about the ocean. Sea waves.
Break the Wave.
Break the Wave.
Every breaking
everyone,
wave.
That one. Yeah. That one. Californication, yeah.
The one that I think I sit on that episode. It just sounds like a fucking like carbon copy of Every Breath You Take by the
Yeah.
Police.
It's literally fine.
Yeah.
But Songs of Innocence does nothing remarkable and does not at all earn the status of being an album that should be permanently placed on your phone. At number 27, I have Mad Love by Jeremy Shada at a C-. It's a first attempt, so you can't really be too harsh on it, but that doesn't mean that it is enjoyable.
Yeah.
I feel it's definitely not my thing. I think he had a lot of growing to do, which he did do on the other album we covered on that episode. But here it's just like you said, clunky vocal delivery and lyrics. A lot of kind of like Suicide Silence-esque, like keeping in like ad-lib stuff, like
Yeah.
talking to the audience, which I don't personally care for. The instrumentation, while it's cool, he's kind of like going for like different genres and like different instrument styles. They're very uninteresting and like not very complicated, which I guess makes sense for like a first EP, but still, it's not that enjoyable. I commend him for like putting himself out there and like getting into the music industry, and he did grow, but as a project on its own, it's not really worth checking out. At number 26, we have A History of Public Relations Dilemma by the Petrojevic Blasting Company. I don't really care for this album that much. I apologize. This sits at a
That makes
C-
sense.
as well. Even like the bigger tracks like Princess Andy, Avi Cologne, like the ones that I tended to like a little more, have things about it that I don't really care for. Specifically, the length of the tracks.
They are long.
Yeah, there are some songs. There's a lot of fat on this album, unfortunately, that was not trimmed. And paired with some pretty lackluster production, it makes for kind of a, not unbearable, but unpleasant listening experience.
Yeah, front to back, it's not the most fun. I
Yeah.
will definitely admit.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't even like Avi Cologne that much, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like that one, I feel like the production could have, if it was better, it would really be fun.
And that's the thing, it's like the best produced track on that album.
Yeah.
Which is so sad.
It sounds like they just recorded everything on one microphone,
Yeah.
which is like,
I guess like if that's what they're going for like the kind of like charm and like authenticity of like that era of music, that's cool, but it still isn't the most fun to listen to. Yeah. It's just not really my thing. I commend them for just going like so balls to the walls with the concept and just like trying to revitalize that style of music was very admirable. But like a lot of the lyrics and the concepts are very confused, especially the George Clooney one. We've memed it to death.
he's so cute.
He is so cute. He's so cute.
He's so cute. You want to get nuts?
Let's get cute.
Oh man,
So,
I'm gonna be saying that for the rest of my life.
dude, you're welcome, man.
I'm gonna be like literally on my deathbed with dementia, and they're gonna be like, "Wait, I think he's beginning to speak again. He's so cute. He's so cute."
That's your rosebud before you die.
People are wondering what I'm talking about,
He's
so
so
they go through a whole investigation.
Exactly.
Who is he, and why is he so? Oh my god. That is the funniest. Oh man, they're interviewing our past guests.
Exactly. What did he mean? Who was so cute? They listen to the podcast front to back. They finally get to that episode. Yeah, overall, just not really my thing. A lot of flaws that prevent it from being enjoyable, though they definitely have potential, and they definitely did better things after that, which I'm very happy for them. 25, we had a C+, bringing it back to Jeremy Shado, Neon Dreams.
Yeah.
Definitely an improvement, still kind of basic for my liking. I think this genre definitely suits him a lot more, and he seems to be having a lot more fun, which I commend a lot, and I'm glad he's doing that. I also like the Easter egg he put into that show he did on Netflix that got canceled, the Ghost song.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
That was cool. I'm glad that he was like playing to his audience. That was very nice. This album is just kind of plain. It doesn't really do too much that's like offensive. It's just kind of your standard like funk disco with a little bit of stock music interludes.
Yeah.
And some same basic songwriting and lyrics. It's nothing too inoffensive, but it's nothing remarkable. So I think a C+ is fair. And speaking of unremarkable, I'm sorry, Matt, we have Dopamine by Borns.
Gotcha.
I'm not the biggest fan of this album. I had another C+. I think the only highlight for me personally is Electric Love, and that's mostly out of nostalgia for hearing it.
Because of the time he performed it, yeah.
Exactly. But he has some, like you said, questionable lyrics and song concept. What's the one? The Oceans of Water song.
Oh yeah, fucking the sons
and the daughters.
I love is
Deeper than the oceans of waters.
It's so shit, but I love it so much.
What a banger.
I can't help it. Oh man.
I won't compare it to Sam Apollo because as his own thing, I still feel like it's not super remarkable. I feel like there are like a lot of fun moments musically and production wise. It's very solid. Even having him go into like more of his like ballad styles is a nice kind of reprieve from the constant funk and disco stuff, which is very cool.
Yeah.
10,000 Emerald Pools is a solid opener.
I do like that track a lot.
But like a lot of it's just kind of forgettable to me, and the bad stuff I kind of remember more than the good stuff.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And
Holy Ghost you love though, right?
it's my favorite track on the album, dude. I mean, like, I will say, as a concept that could have worked, he just executed that so fucking
he didn't
poorly.
have like the gusto,
charisma,
the
no.
gusto and the charisma, as you said on that episode.
Yeah, not at all. He had not earned it yet, and he definitely lost it after that album release.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Dopamine, just kind of whatever to me. And with the last album in our C tier, we have Metal Machine Music by Lou Reed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm sorry it's so high, but I was kind of thinking of like all these albums. Personally, I would rather listen to this than everything below it. Which is kind of crazy, but...
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I just kind of feel bad for Borns.
Yeah, I feel like if anyone, he's the one to feel bad. Actually, never mind. He doesn't need any sympathy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That album, though.
Yeah.
But Metal Machine Music, I really admire the story behind it, as well as just the mind state Lou Reed was in and how he was able to just like convey his feelings through such an experimental process and purely through music. I think it's just very impressive. And just like the intentionality behind all of his choices in terms of artistry and music was very interesting, as well as just how it allowed him to pursue like what he wanted to do, like more traditionally without being like tied down to a label. I think it's like a nice kind of story of just like being misunderstood, both as an album and as an artist.
Yeah.
If you want my full breakdown on that album, go check out our episode where we actually covered this with Borns.
You want? Yeah, I did notice that they're back to back.
Yeah.
If you want AJ's full breakdown on the album, listen to that episode. If you want to hear about my mental breakdown while listening to the album, also listen to that episode.
Metal Machine Music is very fascinating. I can see why it's a cult classic. Definitely influential for a lot of like noise and like avant-garde ambient type stuff. So it is very important. And I think it's a really cool concept that was executed very well for what he was going for. And I think a C tier is fair for it, because while I would never go out of my way to listen to it, I think it's solid enough.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, like I said, there was intentionality with it, so
Exactly.
I didn't want to put it in F. I don't know if I put it in F like in that episode. I know I came pretty fucking close.
I think it was D tier, something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
so
yeah. Hey, we take those.
we do.
At number 22, we have Wasteland Baby by Hosier at a B-. I think this album is okay. Just not really my thing.
Yeah.
I think like the bar blues kind of singer-songwriter stuff just doesn't really do a lot to grip me.
Yeah.
I think Hosier is a fine vocalist. He does like a lot of also fun genre bending stuff, especially with like the gospel soul influence. That's where I really enjoy moments on that album.
Yeah.
And lyrically, he like alludes to a lot of really interesting like aspects of culture and like history, as well as just like kind of nature existentialism like concepts. It is very interesting, and like all the kind of avenues he goes to talk about different subjects. Musically though, it kind of ranges. I feel like the vast majority of tracks, just the standard guitar, drums, bass is not really super engaging.
It could get a little fatiguing after a while.
Yeah, and it's a longer album. It's like 53 minutes, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But it's not bad. It has its good moments. Like the opener is fantastic. I really like the closer as well, and a couple others in there that I can't really remember because I haven't really revisited this album since. But it's not deserving of anything lower than a B tier.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, in a similar vein, at a B-, number 21, we have Soaked Degrees by Boz Scaggs. Instrumentally, I think this album, that's the highlight all throughout. Boz Scaggs is a vocalist. He kind of detracts from my enjoyment personally.
I'm Dave, I'm gonna do now. Hey guys, want to hear the lowdown? Anyone know how to manage?
Bossy the Skaggs here.
Is that like Scott the Woz? Like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
Never mind. Scott the Woz and Kermit definitely have a Venn diagram.
Yeah, Scott the Woz is kind of post Kermit, if you will. I feel like Soaked Degrees, in a similar vein to Wasteland, like it's fine.
Yeah.
Like I would say I enjoy it more because it's like more in line with like my personal taste and just like yacht rock and just like standard 70s stuff. But it's not doing anything to like really impress me. Though there are some standout tracks like Georgia, Lido Shuffle, and Lowdown. Those are a lot of fun, especially when he leans into those more soul funk aspects, which I wouldn't expect him to pull off, but he does surprisingly well, which I commend him for. But vocally and lyrically, it's like kind of basic. Nothing really to like latch onto. A lot of just kind of yearning for a girl, but losing her by being not the best person.
Yeah.
It's fine for what it is, and I think B- is very solid for it.
I think so.
Entering our top 20 with a B tier, we have Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. I think in a similar vein, it's hard to rank a soundtrack in like a sea of just like normal albums.
Yeah.
But it is very well made for what it is. And like you said, I feel like you are missing something by not watching the actual film. But I feel like the soundtrack does also do a good job of kind of like portraying what's on screen sonically, which is very impressive, especially the multiple jacks one.
Yeah.
And is it Shanghai?
Probably.
It's the one where they're in China. Just like all like that, like Eastern musical influence is just so cool.
Well done. Yeah.
Very well done. And you just picture like the scene in your head, especially just how fun it sounds as well. But it is a longer soundtrack. It's definitely nothing I would like seek out personally. Very well done. Very cool ideas. Definitely fits the vibe of Pirates of the Caribbean, as well as just being well made. But it can only go so high. At number 19 at a B-, we have Masterpiece by Big Thief. I remember I was not the biggest fan of this album on that episode. I liked it, but not too much because I didn't really know what to expect from it. But I have grown like a little bit of an appreciation for it. The tracks that I still like Interstate, the title track, and what's the other one?
Did you say you liked Vegas?
I did like Vegas.
I feel like
yeah.
you've definitely said on that episode that you liked Vegas.
Yeah. The instrumentation is very cool. I feel like this going for more like the bar band, I prefer a lot more than Hosier and like that kind of style. Lyrically, this album is fucking gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
Like some of these tracks, man, they're brutal, but
Yeah.
like they're very well done.
And listen, like, I feel like that's definitely a preference thing because, like, you know me, I
Yeah.
love sad music.
Of course, yeah.
I love shit that will make me borderline cry. Like
Yeah.
that is the music that I listen to. So I mean,
And there's nothing wrong with that.
It's not a gym vibe, so I completely understand. Because you said the first time you listened to it, you're at the
I was
gym.
at the gym.
Oh god, just the idea of like Paul or
my
Masterpiece
God, dude.
being at the gym.
Real love while I'm doing fucking leg presses was crazy.
Oh my god.
But like as an album, it is very well crafted. I commend them for just like being so emotionally vulnerable, or Adrienne like just like being so emotionally vulnerable about her past and like her relationships, both like in her family and like in her personal life, and just like being so real about just like the troubles that come with that, as well as just like the flaws of being human. It's a very interesting exploration of just like what it is to be in a relationship, no matter what kind. Just like it's not really my favorite thing. And speaking of which, another kind of back-to-back episode at 18 with a B tier. We have Some Rap Songs by Earl Sweatshirt.
Honestly, I'm just happy that Masterpiece made it into the top 20.
Yeah, it does not deserve to be with the rest.
I got very worried that it was going to be in your like bottom 10.
Nah, it was definitely nowhere near as bad as fucking Suicide Silence.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But at 18, Some Rap Songs. This is an album that it's just not for me, like you said.
Yeah.
I feel like the coolest thing about this album is just like the anatomy of sampling and how Earl Sweatshirt is just able to like chop them up and just make such unique soundscapes that fit the flow and just overall vibe of the song concepts and lyrics so well. As an MC, Earl Sweatshirt's not my favorite, but I do enjoy him from time to time. And hearing just such like, again, a very raw exploration of like human emotions, this time talking about depression and grief, like you mentioned, it is very fascinating, especially with his like kind of like twisted personality that he puts on top of it. And you really get a sense of like what he's going through, while also like trying to cope with it in different ways. Like the song that's like almost like a speech, like that song always gets me. And The Closer is fantastic. It's one of his best known songs for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool samples on here, a lot of like really deep introspection, just showing what death can do to a person, like how hard it is to cope with it sometimes. And you really get to see just like the internal just like psyche of Earl Sweatshirt and just how it's unraveling.
I feel like this is one of those albums where like I feel like I described it not for an album that we've reviewed. I think it might have been for an album that came out this year that we were talking about on the side. Like, not to spoil, but Bartiz Strangest Set Horror. I feel like this album, if I came across this album when I was in high school, I probably would have like really gravitated toward it.
Yeah.
My whole thing is like, because I didn't, it's just, I feel like it's life-changing for, I could definitely see it as life-changing for somebody, but just not for me. That's kind of the argument I have with that other album I mentioned too. Like, just, I very much see the validity, I very much see the validity of like people's arguments saying this is like one of the best rap albums of all time. But at the same time, I'm like,
it's just not my thing.
It's almost like too raw at times.
Yeah, I can see, like, I commend him for it, but it's just not what I prefer to listen to.
Same here.
At number 17, we have High Wraith by Cats from the Corp at a B tier. Of the two Corp albums, who would have guessed the one that I brought on I like better?
Hey, same here. You
exactly. I think High Wraith is cool. There's a lot of cool ideas on here, especially with like the underlying commentary about just like corporatization and just like reliance on like the material is very interesting. Especially with like that suite where it's just like very like heavy and like ambient. I forget what it is. It's like towards the middle of the album.
It's
Heaven something.
It's Haru Plaza, Eden Transit, and
that's
then
it.
The Hanging Garden.
The Hanging Garden. Like that suite's really cool. I really enjoy that just for like what it is as ambient music as well as just commentary and just like going down this like almost haunting journey. It's with like preceded by like pleasant stuff like the Coliseum track.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting like dichotomy that you have on this album. A little bloated at points, even though there are a lot of tracks, even though it's only 47 albums. It gets a little repetitive at times, which is kind of a flaw of Vaporwave, but I still love it. I think like I said on this episode, like one of my fondest memories of the album was just going on a long drive and having this on in the background was really cool. So having it like on in the background is great, but like as an active listen, it's not really my favorite.
I got you.
There's certainly some highlights, some really great sampling moments, of course. Turtle Beach.
Yes, that's the Henri one. Yeah.
Like it's iconic. That got a lot of people into Henri, which is great. And I'm happy we talked about her again on this episode.
It's so fucking cool that I found Henri before that.
Exactly,
so
right?
I feel like I had like a weird like inverse appreciation, which I really enjoyed.
Same here. But it's solid for what it is, but not my favorite core project. And speaking of not my favorite core project, I also listen to Blueberries on Mars. Yeah.
It's just like, it's not bad.
It's fine.
It's very fine. I haven't listened to the remixes yet.
Neither have I.
I'll try them.
Yeah.
I'll try those Blueberries.
Gotcha. On Mars, even.
On Mars.
I think it sticks to the concept pretty well, but it's just ambient music, which is fine. But something that's better than fine is number 16 at a B tier Voulez-Vous by ABBA. This album's a lot of fun,
It is.
even with the caveat of Does Your Mother Know?
It's one of my new favorite memes, let me tell you.
But this is like a disco staple, and you can just like tell just like how much energy and just like love they poured into it. Just like getting people on the dance floor, just like the energy they exude on it. It just makes you want to get up and dance.
Yeah.
The instrumentation is phenomenal.
Oh my God,
God, the bass lines on this album are fucking phenomenal.
Summer Night City, man.
Yeah. I love like the orchestra they have as well, like those elements and like the brass sections. They really just amplify just the fun dancey vibes is all over across this album. The vocals are phenomenal with Agnieszka and
Frida.
They kind of carry this album vocally. Like you said, a lot of the deep cuts are also really good. King Has Lost His Crown is great. And the hits are great too. Man After Midnight, can't go wrong with that. The opener is pretty fun. There's just lots to like on this album, especially if you're wanting to get into disco or just are a disco fan. At number 15, we have Haram by Armand Hammer at a B tier. I think I like this album less than I did upon listening to this album, and I feel like it's because I have a hard time retaining what's on there.
There's a lot on there
Yeah.
too.
It's
It's a heavy concept.
Yeah, there's a lot to digest, which some days I can do, some days I can't. But for what it is, it's fantastic. Very important in terms of like social commentary. The samples are really interesting. Also gave me a really big appreciation for Elucid.
Yeah.
Because I had never listened to his stuff before, but he was honestly like one of my favorite parts on that whole album. Just like his lyrics, his vocal stylings, they just really spoke to me.
I like him more on this album than Diabetic Test Strips.
Yeah.
I feel like they just play off each other so well. So I
Very good
see
combo.
why, yeah.
Yeah, and Billy Woods is also fantastic. Like the emotional depth this album goes to, it's dark, but it's like it's profound. Like it really does stick with you.
I love it.
Especially it's the one, I forget what it's called. It's the one about like the funeral. It's like the Billy Woods track where he
fuck.
kind of like sings, not sings, but like
Oh fuck. I'm blanking on
it's
it.
Jamaican something. I think
Is it Indian Summer?
it might be Indian Summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only one that
That
mentions a country.
There we go. But yeah, Haram is very important, very well done. And I do like it, but it's nothing that I really return to that often. Though there are tracks that I do like.
That makes sense. I mean, like, I feel if we're talking like Nightmare Gym album blunt rotation, like
This and Masterpiece.
you're gonna like kill yourself afterwards.
Like, God, this workout sucks. It's supposed to make me feel stronger, but I feel so weak.
Oh, for real. This roach really doesn't fly.
No. At number 14, with a B tier, we have Brat by Charlie XCX. Like I said on the episode, this is just an album that I don't get. Like, I see the appeal, I respect the ambition and like just the overall concept and musicality. It just doesn't click with me. I think that just might be like a preference thing where just like that aggressive aspect of like house and electronic is just not my thing.
I got you, yeah.
But Charlie, she does a great job of like conveying like the darker themes of just like being a woman in this modern world. Like there's a lot of interesting commentary she has in terms of just like expectations, relationships in the music industry, the loss of a friend, like seeing like your best years behind you, like regretting your past and like wishing you could do more. There's like a lot of like really familial trauma.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like really cool like relatable concepts in there that are kind of like imbued with like this very hard hitting electronic, almost like dissonant music, which for some is like the perfect thing. For me is I can take it or leave it.
I understand.
Yeah.
Can I just say something that's kind of cool?
Yeah.
So on the original release, like, of the album on Spotify,
Yeah.
Charlie altered the cover.
I saw that.
Oh my god, the fucking browning at the bottom and crossing up Brat because the browning is like the rotting of the apple. Like
Exactly.
that shit that's cool.
The Brat era is almost over.
It is.
But this album is definitely very solid for what it is. There are, of course, highlights, and Charlie XCX is fucking brilliant on this album. Her personality shines through. She has such cutting and also insightful lyrics all across this album, talking about a variety of different themes. Apple, Von Dutch fucking rips.
Oh my god.
The opener is great. I love Mean Girls, and there's another one I'm forgetting. Girls is so confusing, and
Let's
Talk
go.
that's the other one.
Talk is pretty good.
But yeah, Brat's solid. I don't think I'll ever get it, and that's okay. It's solid for what it is to me.
No, it makes sense.
At number 13, we have Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers with a B+. Like you said, this album is just good. It's just a very good exploration of just like again, like Masterpiece, just relationships, the flaws of being human, and just like the struggles that come with being alive, and almost like such like an apocalyptic way, especially with the closer. Phoebe Bridgers does an excellent job of just like dissecting all these issues in her unique way. The musicality is like very dark and droning, which makes perfect sense for this type of album. Her vocal performance is also like very palpable. Like every emotion she tries to convey, she does it perfectly. And like you said, Kyoto's a banger. I love that track.
It's so good.
It's definitely an album that you want to listen to if you're fucking feeling it. But yeah, it's just in a similar vein to Hosier, like not my thing. Yeah. But I still recommend it. I still giving it its flowers. It is very good. At 12 with an A-, we have What Happened to the Heart by Aurora. This album is a lot of fun. I really enjoy that Aurora's keeping art pop alive, at least that kind of sector of it, and doing it in like such a flamboyant, bombastic, like in-your-face way is brilliant. I love the kind of disco and funk elements she imbues in it. As you could guess, the Kate Bush stuff is my favorite part. Who would have guessed?
It's so good.
But the musicality is a lot of fun. I love the overall concept of this album too. Just like talking about like how we've just kind of become desensitized to human emotions and how we should kind of like go back to like the old ways of just feeling, which is like really important to talk about. And she explores that very well. A lot of really cool influences musically, like I said, the Celtic stuff that is kind of like borrowed from Kate Bush. A lot of cool genre hopping, a lot of biting lyrics. This is just a really cool album, though it's a little lower because I haven't really returned to it that often, but still definitely worth checking out.
That's one I play at work a lot.
I gotcha.
Like,
I don't blame you, man. It's a good album.
For like, we need to get pumped up. What are we going to play? I'm like, some type of Skin, man.
There we go. Let's fucking dance. At number 11, right outside the top 10, we have Heard Noises by Matt Berry with a B+.
I was not expecting it to be your top 10.
It's right outside.
Oh, never mind.
There you go.
I'm going to go fuck myself. No, I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Heard Noises is one of like my top albums of 2025. It's like one of the only albums that I can say I've really enjoyed from this year, unfortunately, at time of recording.
Weird year for albums, man.
I know, man. Really disappointed. I mean, 2024 is hard to beat, but even still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going. I'm sorry.
It's all good. But Heard Noises is like a phenomenal example of like what celebrity music can be. Matt Berry has like such like an engaging, infectious personality where he just pays tribute to the 60s, 70s R&B, folk, psychedelic rock like super well. And his lyrics are really fun while also being very like introspective about just like his career, being kind of like put into a box while trying to escape and branch out into things that he's more passionate about. But he also has like this kind of like supernatural undercurrent underneath the psychedelia, like Wedding Photo Stranger and I Answered As I Came.
With Natasha Lyonne.
Instrumentation is phenomenal all across this album. Very faithful to the era with a lot of like really great earwormy hooks, which is fantastic. The production is also very good for being self-produced, which is great. Plays a lot with the channels, but having them like stereo, but they're very like palatable, which is really impressive for an artist of his caliber.
It's hard to have like exaggerated stereo mixing be palatable.
Yeah, and he pulls it off very well.
Pretty decently.
Heard Noises I definitely recommend to check out, and it was a fun album to talk about on the show.
I would wholeheartedly agree. It's my number 3.
There you go. At number 10,
here we go.
With a B+, we have News at 11 by Cat System Corp. I really like this album a lot.
That's crazy. We both have a fucking Corp
Corp
album at number 10. That's crazy.
Look at the similarities, dude. Season 3.
Season 3. Season 3. Season 3. Season 3. Season 3. That was the most testosterone thing, and I hated that so much. Anyway, continue.
We're men here at the Family Album.
Yeah, we're men. We're men.
We're men who like vaporwave. But News at 11, I think, is such a fascinating concept that's executed very well, in my opinion. I think just like the dread you feel listening to some of these samples, it just can't be replicated. And he did that, and he like mixed that just so perfectly. Just hearing like these news broadcasts talking about like what a great day it is, but you just know that it's not gonna last. Or, well, at least in the universe of the album, it does last, but in real life, it can't be that way. It's just like a very interesting just dynamic between what could have been and just like the end of feeling safe in America. I think this album is a little too long. Like the Weather Channel suite, while I respect it for what it's going for, having like the duration and like the 9/11 parallels, it's very similar and it does go on way too long.
He does just have long albums.
He does. That is possibly a flaw of him, like Post Malone, but I feel like I enjoy his music a lot more.
I'd
personally.
I'd rather take this like beautiful depiction of tragedy becoming art than Post Malone's.
help.
So that really spoils my night. It's like poetry and rhyme.
I've never been like a small fry. But honestly, this is an album I'd recommend checking out just because it's so unique in terms of what it's done. It's a pillar of vaporwave for a reason, and it's just brilliantly mixed. There's a lot of just great tension and dread that you're just filled with listening to this entire album. I've seen it been called disturbing, and I can definitely see why. So if you're morbidly curious, definitely check this one out. I highly recommend. At number 9, we have The Man Machine by Kraftwerk with a B+. I really like this album a lot. I believe I brought it up. This was during my renaissance of music listening.
Oh yeah, I think I do remember you saying that.
So this was on repeat a lot when I was in college, and it still holds up to this day. I like it a lot. Like you said, blending new wave elements with early techno and electronic is the perfect blend, especially on The Model, their hit single from the album. Like one of my favorite Kraftwerk songs. I really like it a lot. The like soundscapes they're able to come up with are like really cool, especially for the time.
Metropolis, man.
Metropolis is great.
That's a good one. I will admit.
Neon Lights is also really cool.
So good.
Perfectly just embodies the feeling of like walking around at night in the winter.
Yeah.
It's great. The instrumentation is like super interesting, being almost entirely digital.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, being very reliant on synths and keyboards, but using that perfectly to go for like the sound they're trying to go for. I'd say like the vocals are like the weakest part, but they're not really a focus. They're there for loops.
I think honestly, like if there was anything that I didn't like about the album, it wasn't like, oh, vocally this was like offensive to me. Like no, like
it's just kind of like it's all right.
I kind of take that as a grain of salt with new wave in general.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like I'm not like David Byrne. I love him as a vocalist.
Music to my ears like butter. But I say that more for like the closer of this album. The title track is kind of like the weakest point, and like the loop is kind of obnoxious. But everything else is great before that, and this is like a very nice, just kind of like forefather for all electronic music to come from. At number 8, we have Bundles by Soft Machine at an A-. I fucking really like this album a lot.
I see why.
It's a prog album. It's done really well. The instrumentation is phenomenal all across the board. So many fun soundscapes. I love the Hazard Profile medley, which is paced perfectly and goes through all these different kind of genres, especially like the funk breakdown, I think on part 3 or part 4, which is really cool.
Yeah, that suite is fucking epic.
It's so good. Oh my god, Hazard Profile part 1 is such a good opener. Like the musicality is fantastic. All the woodwinds, the bass lines, the drums specifically are phenomenal.
They're fucking filthy.
Yeah. This is just a really dope album, underrated, at least in the prog scene. Definitely deserves some more love. And yeah, if you're wanting some a little more like less obvious prog choices, definitely check this one out. I dig it a lot.
I would totally agree. Although it's not like in my top 10, this album is so fucking fun to just do anything. Man. As an active listener or not, you feel kind of feel like Patrick when he's like freeform jazz. Yeah. And he and SpongeBob are like that's pondering. How you feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you ponder when you listen to this album. But yeah, it's fucking great. I also love the softer moments on this album too, like The Man That Waved the Trains. Land of the Bag Snake goes fucking hard.
So good.
Love like just the clarinet that takes over on that track. But yeah, very, very cool. Definitely check it out. At number 7, we have Songs for the Deaf by Queens of the Stone Age with a solid A. I was not expecting to like this album as much as I did, but I really enjoy it.
Me too, man.
This album is a lot of fun. They play with the concept perfectly of just being on this desert road trip, going through just like the trials of tribulations of like drug addiction, commentary on the media, especially like music censorship and like the state of the music industry. It's very, very well done, and the music just kind of bolsters that to the forefront. Playing around with different time signatures, different like auxiliary percussion stuff and musical stylings, which is really fun. Josh Homme as a vocalist is very engaging and perfect for the type of music that he's going for. Having Dave Grohl on this is like liquid gold.
And then having Dean Ween as the cherry on top.
Dude?
Like
that blew my mind.
3 of the biggest songs on that album, like just the fucking cataclysmic, like almost like doom, like fucking that shit goes so hard. Mm-hmm. First It Giveth might be like one of my favorite rock songs, period.
It's so good. There's a lot of fantastic moments on this album, like First It Giveth. Of course, the singles Go With The Flow and
No One Knows.
No One Knows, that's it, yeah. But the deeper cut, like Hanging Tree, is fantastic.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The sickening feeling
Oh my
you
God,
get
yeah,
as
dude.
it like they fucking bend the guitar pitches and shit. Like you feel like you're getting high somehow.
Like the lyric of like just like the imagery of a hanging body on the swaying just always like embodies such a feeling of dread. I really like The Sky Is Falling a lot.
yeah.
That one's great. God Is on the Radio is great commentary.
It's creepy.
And also, even though it's not like it's a bonus track, the Mosquito
Song is so good.
it's a very nice palate cleanser for the whole album, just being so different.
I don't want to spoil too much of Rated R for you if you are planning to listen to it, but they do kind of they kind of like to fuck with the sort of jazz band orchestra motif thing every once in a while,
Good
and
stuff.
it is fun.
All right, well, that's something to look forward to. But this is regarded as like one of the best albums of all time. I can definitely see why.
Oh my god, me too.
Very, very good. At number 6, we have at an A tier, Glow On by Turnstile. This album just fucking shreds front to back.
It rules.
It never gets old. It's 34 minutes of just pure adrenaline. You want to beat the shit out of someone after you listen to it.
Oh my god, yeah. Dance Party? I would fucking
Yeah, man.
I would kill somebody to Dance Party. Like actually, like it's on.
Question of the week. Who wants to fucking go?
Put me in the booth.
Every song on here is just perfect for the album. They, like you said, they play around with musical styling so well with like the samba bits on Don't Play.
Yeah, that one.
To the pure just like hardcore of like Blackout, the almost like shoegazy ambience of Alien Love Call, and just like the fun arena rock of TLC. There's just so many great moments all across this album.
Turnstile Love Connection.
The Turnstile Love Connection.
I love that track so much.
It's so fun, man. It's like the goofy one, and I love it for that. The musicality goes so hard, especially Daniel Fang's drumming is fantastic. I love the guitar work, just how fucking hard it shreds. Those breakdowns are so fucking good.
Oh my God,
I love all like anytime it goes into halftime. Also, love the softer moments on here too. Getting to like see the like vulnerability of like failed relationships on Alien Love Call, Lonely Desires.
Underwater Boy is also a very like, oh man.
The shoegaze influence is so fucking good on that track. The thing I was gonna say when you were talking about this album was if I wrote 1001 albums to listen to before you die, this would be on there.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
would say this is like a must for modern like hardcore. I would say modern rock in general. This is definitely one
Yeah.
that people should gravitate toward.
It's perfect. Like it's very accessible, even if like this genre seems kind of like intimidating at first. Listen to this. This is a great like gateway into that realm.
Absolutely.
At number 5, and with A tier, I have "Kimono My House" by Sparks.
Well, this is where our opinions probably differ quite a lot.
I love this album a lot. This, like Man Machine, this was also a frequent replay in college. Sparks are just like one of my favorite bands. I really like them a lot and what they did for music at the time. Just being this kind of like outsider, kind of like cool in the know band of like the 70s where they were talking about taboo issues in like such a tongue-in-cheek way that like no one was really doing or was afraid to do at the time.
I'll hang myself from the family tree.
Yep.
Berries and cream, berries and cream.
Russ Mail is not the most accessible vocalist, but I still like him and he works perfectly for what this album is trying to do for like glam and art rock.
Honestly, the only time I really felt like his vocals were annoying was just Equator.
Yeah, like I said, Equator is a bad song and a very bad closer. So I'm glad that most reissues have the 2 bonus tracks because they work a lot better.
Yeah.
But there's so many like great highlights. Of course, This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us. Their big hit for a reason. Very unique as a single, but it goes really fucking hard, especially the breakdown, the accented breakdown with the guitars and the drums. I love Here in Heaven. Thank God It's Not Christmas is a fucking banger. Barbecutie's a lot of fun. Hasta Mañana, Monsieur. There's just so much great stuff on there. This is a pillar of like glam rock. And Sparks a lot of other cool stuff. I don't know if it would be up your alley.
I think I had mentioned, and I can look at this after the podcast, I feel like there was definitely a song by them that I had sit on the episode that I
Yeah.
listened to and was like, this is okay.
Gotcha.
So I don't know.
Hey, maybe season 5.
Isn't this season 4?
Yeah, I'm gonna skip season 4. Make you wait for it. I'm gonna surprise him, Matt.
Oh no.
But yeah, Come Out of My House is a lot of fun. Just really straight ahead. Great glam and art rock.
The palpable confusion I had where I was like, wait, are
Wait a
we on
minute.
season 4
Yeah.
right now? I thought we were in season 3.
At number 4, same place as you, with an S tier, we have The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. This is definitely my favorite David Bowie album. I don't know if it's one of my favorites of all time. We'd have to see. But I've loved this album ever since I first listened to it. Just such a fascinating concept that was touching on a lot of like issues people like weren't really talking about at the time, and David Bowie was the perfect mouthpiece for that. Really just fascinating having like the concept of like an alien rock star sent to like warn the earth of its doom, but getting so wrapped up in like the culture that it ultimately leads to his undoing.
Yeah.
It's like a really cool take on just like the rock star fantasy.
Yeah.
And like how like it's just so easily given and taken away. Musically, this album is so rich and like vibrant. The glam rock influence is so palpable and just really enrapturing to listen to. I love tracks like Lady Stardust. I love deep cuts like Star. I really enjoyed just that kind of like throwback to the 50s, just really kind of paying homage to just music as a whole. And David Bowie is such a captivating personality all across this album. His lyrics are like so far out and cosmic, but that's just like part of the appeal. He's a great just presence to have all throughout, just talking about things both in the concept of the album and just stuff in the world. Starman is a great single. Moon Age Daydream is iconic now, and I'm very happy for that. The instrumentation is just so lush and beautiful. It's just never old to listen to. So this is a classic for a reason, and I love it. At number 3, we have The Wall by Pink Floyd with an S tier. Yeah.
I expect it to be higher for some reason.
I mean, it's top 3. Yeah. But it's not top 1.
Top 1. Oh man, that's what I'm gonna. That's how I'm gonna like flirt with somebody. Will you be my top one?
I'll be your bottom 2.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Anyway, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Like I said on, I think the episode we talked about The Wall as well as Animals. This and Animals go back and forth as like number 2 and number 3 for me in my overall Pink Floyd ranking.
Mm-hmm.
And spoiler, that's how they are here. Animals is number 2, so I guess I could talk about them both.
Gotcha.
But The Wall is fantastic. I fell in love with it ever since I first heard it in high school. Watching the movie for the first time, it fucking blew me away. Just like the sheer artistry and just like concept that things like this can exist was super fucking dope.
Yeah, and I'm sure I will enjoy it. Unlike how I said for some reason on the last episode of Tom Hates Albums that I watched the movie when I didn't. I lied to you all for some reason.
Yes, Matt gaslit us.
I had a Freudian slip. It was like, yeah, I watched the movie. I think a part of it was like Tom was kind of talking, so I was just like, oh, I want to slip in that I saw bits and pieces. I've seen the movie. Yeah, who cares? Like, no, I lied to you all.
Maybe Matt will give us thoughts on the movies maybe next season or something.
I want to watch the movie so bad.
It's a great fucking experience. I'd highly recommend, and might happen sooner than you think. But The Wall is fantastic front to back. Such a cool, unique story about just like trauma and internalizing that in just like the most unhealthy of ways, but being raised in like a generation where like that's how you're expected to act is just fantastic. The musicality is phenomenal all across the board. Wright, Gilmour, Mason, and Waters all bring their A game to the table. Even though tensions were high, they still pulled together to like make such a great iconic album. Gilmour's guitar work just soars every time he's given a chance to shine, as well as Richard Wright's keyboard work. Even though he was like the most criminally underrated member of the band, he still is putting in the work and he still is stealing the show. Nick Mason, like I said, while he's kind of like memed on, he is a great drummer and he does exactly what he needs to for this album, especially with his tom heavy fills on tracks like In the Flesh. They're perfect. And Roger Waters, even though he sucks, he's a great vocalist on this album and he portrays just like the emotions and trauma of Pink perfectly because they're semi-autobiographical. The Wall is a fantastic album front to back. Definitely check it out. I can see why that dude put it on Albums List 2 Before You Die. I would also put it there. As for Animals, that's a number 2 with another S tier. I really love Animals a lot. Just like the social commentary about like the political structure of England is just very topical, timeless, one might say.
Yeah.
The concept of like using Animal Farm to convey like those themes is genius. And I love just like how each song represents a different like facet of like society with dogs, pigs, and sheep, and how they play with that motif musically as well as like artistically, having like the animal sound effects with like the lyrics just describing like what each one like kind of does in a poetic way. Instrumentally, this album goes fucking hard. Like, I can listen to all these tracks without the album. Like, I've listened to Dogs on its own multiple times, all 17 minutes. It's fucking great. Everything I could say about The Wall, I could apply to the Animals musically, though I think I like it just a tad bit more. I love Sheep and like the kind of funk shuffle 6/8 that you have with Richard Wright getting like such a moment to shine with those Rhodes keys.
Yeah, they are pretty sick.
I love the talk box on Pigs, just mimicking the noises, as well as David Gilmour's guitar work on that track. And Dogs is just so beautiful. Like front to back, it's such a great track. It's almost like an epic in its own right of just like this societal commentary like through music. Animals is a great fucking time. Well, not a great time, but not in the real world. But as an album, it's a great listen.
It's very well done.
Very well done. And I love it a lot. These two spots can kind of interchange. But number one is one of my favorite albums of all time, and that is To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar.
Wow.
With an S tier.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love this. This was the album that kind of got me into rap. I started with MF Doom, but this album is like what like really made it click for me.
Sorry about that. My stomach just decided to interject.
That's okay. I agree. But yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly is I would say perfect. Like just in what it did as like commentary, while also musically kind of just harkening back to hip hop's roots with all these jazz and funk samples with such conscious like lyric delivery and just like present societal issues and just like calls to action in terms of just like how to like make it better. It's just a fantastic display of like what music can be, and like as a tool and as just like a piece of art, using this like outlet to kind of show the internal struggles of like accepting who you are while also talking about like the unjust treatment of like minorities in America. It's a very like perfect combination that works out really well. And the music also fucks really hard. The samples are so good. Kendrick's flows are fucking amazing, especially on For Free. That's such like great just example of like how you can rap it like your greatest.
Yeah.
But song concepts are so good. Like there's no skips whatsoever on this album. I love like you said, the haunting production on You. I love like the kind of ethereal, spacey jazziness of For Sale. I has become like an in rotation song. I run to it on the treadmill. I love the album version a lot more than the single version. I just love how it just feels like a happy ending in a way.
Yeah.
It feels just like the feeling of like accepting yourself and like finding that like self-love, which is so hard to find, is just it's like empowering in a way, and I love it. Wesley's Theory is like one of the best album openers of all time. Thundercat. This album is so well produced. It's just a treat to listen to anytime you put it on. And one of the best albums of all time, and my favorite that we covered on the season.
I would definitely agree with you. I mean, like as far as rap goes, it is definitely one of my new favorites.
Yeah, it's essential listening, I would say. It's so fucking good.
It just pushes the boundaries, I feel like, so fucking much.
Yeah, and the display at Kendrick at one of his best.
Well, speaking of pushing boundaries,
yes,
this podcast,
as always,
man, yeah, I gotta say, like, this was very interesting season.
Yeah, I think I was telling you off the podcast, this is definitely the most negative I've been this season.
Yeah,
but
we had a lot of shit to dig through.
Yeah, I think like I've had like a majority kind of A's and S tiers. Majority here was like B's, C's, and D's, which was kind of funny. But it's that's music.
Hey, I mean,
wide range.
Yeah, I mean, wide range of just things that are out there, but also like wide range of perspective. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, we both definitely have like similar yet very differing tastes, and just all around. But also like, I feel like it just shows how much albums can like mean to people at certain points.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Dopamine, but that was decently high on your list. And it's cool to see like the different perspectives, which is what the family album is all about.
I do always love seeing like on our lists like the similarities and differences.
Yeah.
The fact that we had the same
bottom
six
four
with like only one or two that were
flipped.
different. That was pretty fucking
great.
funny. Yeah. Pray for the Wicked sucks, man.
It's not a good album.
It's fucking awful.
Also having our
like both having like Cat System Corp at number 10.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah,
That was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I did not expect that at all.
Neither did I.
I didn't expect you to have Cat System Corp in your top 10 at all. If I'm being honest.
I really like News at 11, Any comparison to everything else, I think it definitely earned that spot.
And I really liked Hireth.
However you pronounce it.
However you pronounce it. I
But
guess. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say.
That's okay. I was going to say season 3 was very interesting.
Yes, it was.
We hope you enjoyed a lot of wide range of guests,
Yes.
albums, themes, and a lot of negativity.
Yes, and hopefully in the next season, season 4. I mean, who knows what will happen?
That's true.
It could be even more negative
Yeah.
somehow.
It's fun talking about bad albums sometimes.
It can be.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, the Bad Album Bowl.
Yes, stay tuned for that. Year 2, we're hoping to keep that going.
I don't know if we'll do it exactly in the same time.
Yeah.
But who knows? We're definitely going to do that again. We love the engagement. Thank you so much for listening, as
for
always, and for voting. Thank you so much for listening to Tom
Yeah.
for so long.
We understand. He rubs a lot of you the wrong way.
Oh man, and he will again in season 4.
That he will.
But thank you so much for listening. For all updates, please look at Family Album Pod on our Instagram.
Give us a follow.
Give us a follow. I think, should we also mention we're not going to do Family Vacation as traditionally?
Yes, we definitely should mention that.
Yeah. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. We're not going to do Family Vacation at least every week.
Yeah, it'll be, if at all, a lot very inconsistent.
Yeah, like I maybe have like 1 or 2 albums I want to talk about, but
Yeah.
I don't even know. It just, we're very busy at this point in time.
And we want to focus on more like kind of personal projects while we have this like hiatus.
like Tom makes albums.
Exactly.
Of course. No, but yeah, we do very much want to focus on personal projects because, you know, like, especially in a time of right now, art and making art of any kind and of any genre is really important.
Exactly.
And I think it's good that we devote time to doing that as, I guess, content creators in a way.
I guess we can be classified as that.
If we can't be classified as music critics,
We can at least be content creators. That's easy.
Oh yeah, anybody could do.
Exactly.
Anybody can have opinions. Yeah, please stay tuned for just any announcements on Family Album Pod.
We'll be on hiatus for the summer, probably be back around September, October as usual.
Yeah.
We'll let you know on Family Album Pod.
Man, this music is fucking awesome. Oh man, but I guess all I can say is thank you so much for listening to this episode of
Family Meeting.
As always, I have been Matt Glass,
And I'm AJ Tenari.
and we will see you
In season 4.
Woo! Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That was Tom. Bye.
Oh my god, Tom of Innocence, and I don't have to pay for it.
Tom of albums.